Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Thank you. Okay. Gosh, just something ain't right. Testing, testing. Thank you. Okay. Gosh, just something ain't right. Testing, testing. Thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna trust this way works. What is this new look? All right, so I'm just gonna trust this way works. YouTube got this new look. My audio don't sound like it's the loudest. All right, let's go with it. Right. We just gonna go with it. Let's talk about some debate critique, right? On my side, what I could have done better. You dig? What I could have done better. But I'm gonna give myself. I'm a heavy critic on myself. But as far as what I could have did better during the classic debate with Captain Zariak, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back, which I never do because I still got criticisms of myself. So, but I won't be hard on myself only because of the circumstances I was under that people, even Captain, don't even know. Okay, so so the way he lost was like really like super shameful on his part because he claims the virgin birth is the wrong subject to debate on more. He told me, and that's what he does. So for me to pick up a win under the different conditions, it's like one condition that I was under, he could have won. I was under like four different conditions that was unfavorable to me. Before the debate, I had a kid running around. You dig? I had a lot going on during that debate where I could have took an L. Like I kind of figured like, damn, this is not the right day to debate. In my mind, I'm like, I'm probably gonna lose this on that, not my opponent. This on like what I'm dealing with, I'm probably gonna lose. But in my mindset was, as long as I make it close, I could go to bed like a baby. So like that was my mentality going in. I knew nobody could beat me with information. I just felt like I was off my game. I wasn't mentally ready for a debate. You know, just imagine the best way I could explain this is just imagine that you are on your way to, let's say, the beach with your significant other, your kids, whoever, friends, and let's say as everybody's ready, you got a caravan. Go. You got a caravan. You about to pull off, and as you're about to pull off, your boss stops you like, yo, where you going? Like, where you been at? Yo, you got to open the store. You like, what? They're like, yeah. They're like, yo, today's Monday. Let's say, I don't know, but let's just say, get back in bed. Let's just say that you had your days mixed up on where you was going to the beach, or let's say where you were available to go to the beach, and you thought this particular day was the day to go to the beach, but you turned out after you're ready, prepared, and pretty much on your way, just to find out, nah, you got to open the store, dude. Only you can open it. You know, like that's how the debate pretty much hit me. Like, yo, no, the debate is now when your boy's on his way somewhere else, not mentally ready for engagement, not like that. I'm just about to have some fun game night type tests. You dig? So that was one scenario, right? One circumstance. I'm like, really? So now I'm rushing home, like not even like in debate mode at all, just like more like, oh my God, really? Did I really just do this? You know, did I really just mess this up for me? What the fuck? Who sits there and walk past a car is backing up with the lights on? Hell, you're gonna stop. Like, who the hell chances that? The crackheads. Early goddamn crackheads. Bring that 94 crime bill back, man. 2024 crime bill. We need something, man. You thought those super predators was bad. We got some old chat GPT predators. Big. Anyway. So that was one condition, right? So now I'm rushing home. Now here's the second condition. I have nothing prepared in front of me. So when you guys if you already checked it and didn't acknowledge it or pay attention to it, go back and look at my presentation. Look at how I'm just typing stuff. Like I have nothing. I'm just looking for stuff on the fly. Like nothing is laid out. If no argument is laid out in front of me. So as many of you know, I use the Microsoft Word as my Bible. I believe I can maneuver fast in that. Meach said, go to logos, which I should have. Now I'm like, yeah, I should have because the downside about Microsoft Word when using that for something is that when you got like 5,000 pages, it takes a long time to load up Microsoft Word and all those pages. You dig? So, and guess what? You have a Bible Microsoft Word. The first pages to upload are the Old Testament. The last page to upload is my Apocrypha. And then my resources I got behind the Apocrypha. So let's say my resources would be like screenshots of different like articles. That's like, damn, I'm never gonna get to that. Why this thing is like uploading the pages, the debate is ready. So now I'm like, I got my Microsoft Bible open, but as I'm going to look for something, I'm like remember like, oh no, that's Apocrypha. Can't get there. Oh no, that's New Testament. That's Paul's letters. Can't get there. So that's why you see me go to Blue Letter a lot for my screen share. Then you see I'm not even sharing my screen half the times I'm reading. So that was another circumstance. Unprepared to present. So and then the third circumstance is that I'm not used to saying, yo, stop my clock. I'm used to just, hey, things not going right. The moderator should be able to sense that. Like, oh, let me stop your clock. And I didn't know I have to like say stop my clock for my clock to get stopped when I'm clearly in disarray. Like, oh shit, I'm losing like 2 minutes, no problem. Okay, then so that's another circumstance. So first circumstance is not in debate mode, on my way to do something totally different, and I'm rushing home to force myself into debate war mode, which I'm now drinking to get myself in that stage because I'm not there naturally. So that's why you see I was all nice. Hey, shout out to I love the world type of Michael Jackson type of thing. I'm not in debate mode at all. Nah, Captain, man, nah, you saw good. Like that's who I am when I'm not arguing. That's the true me, the peacemaker. Hey, everybody, I love you, Rodney King. Can we all just get along? I don't want to debate Captain. I don't want to debate nobody. So that was the state I was in. So I'm trying to drink to get a little war mode in me, but the problem is, get back. So the problem is when you drink, well, I don't know what you guys, when I drink, you never know. Sometimes drinking gets you angry, sometimes drinking gets you sleepy, and sometimes it makes you happy. So guess what? I'm already in the I let everybody mode. I drink and I get happier. Now I love plants, animals, and things like that. I'm like, oh my God. Like, there's not one fighting bone in me. Okay. So, I'm prepared, not in debate mode and presentation, and like rushing to get home. Okay. I'm panicking now. The liquor helped clear my panicking bones, though. I'll give it that. All right. Okay. And now I'm trying to see what else. Boom. Okay. All right. Then the format. Here's the other circumstance that did not work in my favor. I did not know I was debating like the traditional format. Introduction, 1 round, 2 round. Like the rounds is I just felt like the debate was like overlooked, overthought, over the impact, the information that comes out of it, I felt like was undermined. Here we go. Because like, dude, 2 rounds for this? Are you serious? Like, yo, the 1 million scriptures Captain's gonna spit out, and you expect this to go like, yeah, I'm trying to make this the end of it all as far as virgin debates. Like after this, so much information is supposed to come out, so much criticism, so much cross-examination comes out that we don't need another virgin birth debate anytime soon. But like a lot did not get addressed, so it's like, you know, my expectations were just not there for how I wanted this to go. I didn't want some rinky dink. Yeah, like I said, it might have been a little bit undermined of like the research I put in and the research Captain thought he put in. I'm thinking that I could finally share all at one time, or at least as much as possible, all at one time that I never shared before in my lives during my debates. It's like for extra kill, whatever. All right, so that format. So now I don't have an introduction. That's why I just freestyle. But I had an idea what I would go. So now, here's the other circumstance that worked in Captain's favor. favor is that my introduction was not. It was for more so my live, a vocab Malone, even like maybe a Sakari uh format. Not I mean platform, not Sonetta's, because his platform is like usually everybody's there, like from different nationalities, different religions, different faiths, right? My introduction was for like Bible thumpers only. That's why I laid it out like a storyline. A couple guys quoted in the chat, and they give me props for it. But if you're just listening for entertainment, like you really thought I was just reading for no reason. Like, where's this guy going? But I was showing how the prophecy, where it started from and where it was leading you to. And I was showing that I showed that it only could lead to Mary. It cannot lead to Joseph. So I started off by saying it started off with a woman, Eve seed. Then, which is a woman, right? Eve seed. I pointed out that seed, come over here. Seed was a child, descendant, offspring, which Captain later on, right away agreed. Like, yeah, seed is where he calls slang. The guy's like, he's funny. Very disingenuous, but very, very funny. He says seed is slang. It's good about scholarship. Blue letter is slang for offspring. Like, what? Like, just water it down completely. Like, okay. Okay. All right. Shoot, I forgot my damn. Over this way. I forgot my damn. Hey. Yeah, so he was okay. It's like, come on. Yeah. Yeah. What up, bro? How you been? Good. You? Good. Okay. Hey, all good. Yourself? All right. Okay. Hey, say hi. Yeah. So the seed thing. I again, I didn't know. Even though they said 2 rounds, and then the second round was 10 minutes. Like, God damn, we really ain't gonna talk about nothing. You dig? That's like one argument, 2 arguments. That's it. Like, yeah, a lot is not gonna be addressed here. Okay, so now some blame on me is that I should have went. But here's the other circumstance. Captain said, "Okay, I'm biased. You want to go first? I go first." But now we're trying to determine who goes first, but we're not arguing. Like, it's almost like over here, it's almost like ladies first. So like just being polite. Hey man, do you want to go or I go? So I know that Captain likes to go first. So I was just like trying to be as courteous as him, like, Captain, man, you call it. So as we're doing that, Sonetta say, no, I'm biased. You're the challenger. You go first. It's like, nah, like let us work that out. So I'm only saying that because it actually worked out for Captain for me to go first, because I went in a direction that Captain was not interested in. Captain was interested in just precept out of context. I was interested in the storyline leading up to how Mary fulfills the prophecy of, the virgin birth. So when I went with that long storyline, Captain came out just with guns blazing. He ain't rebut. A lot of things I said, he just totally ignored and just didn't even show how the prophecy, like, he didn't give a storyline based on events, how the prophecy goes from the old to Joseph. What's going on, brother? How you? Good. Yeah. So he didn't give a storyline. He just gave you like random precepts and his private interpretation, his eisegesis on that how that worked together. But it was like not clear cut. I made it very clear cut here, and this goes from here, and then Rebecca, and then you got Tamar, like when I say storyline, literally a timeline story. This person, that person, each person came after the next person. This guy gets up there and just starts the seed of David, 2 Samuel chapter 7. Like, what? And most of what he was saying was trying to rebut what I was saying. So like it wasn't. So I don't blame myself for that because I was like kind of like expecting more of Captain. Like, okay, Captain, I'm gonna show you why the prophecy goes from old to Mary. You do the same. Like when you're like when you're round one, you do the same, and then we could crossfire. Captain wasn't interested at all. He just was blitzing me. So that was my fault. So basically, I was a slow start. So now that it happened that way, now I'm rebutting Captain instead of him rebutting me because I didn't really start off offensive. I'm thinking I give a storyline why it goes from old to Mary. He'll give one why it goes from old to Joseph, and then I'll go into my argument. Then it can rebut. I give a storyline, he just start rebutting right away. So I was like, dude, man, you're rebutting what? I didn't even argue yet. So that kind of like set me back a little bit. So I was playing catch up from then on. This is why people were saying, yo, read, going to Matt. I'm reading. Well, I never read the chat during the debate. I'm just talking about retrospecting. When I was looking back at it, a lot of people were saying, hey, yo, man, going to Matthew 118. It's like, I can't. I'm so far behind. I didn't even get Matthew 116, which is the way I'm going to win. So I'm, which one is tonight? So it's like, there's no way I can afford to do Matthew 118 now because this is my last chance. Because of the way it was like the arguments were so short and the cross examination was like really like nothing really. So I said, no. That's why Captain got mad like during the question. No, actually he started, but during the question and answering, he went to my bad, I'm at Quick Check. I'm not Quick Check, my favorite. He went to what caught him off guard was that he went to read Eusebius, Africanus Eusebius works on come on. He went to read that on the different lineages, like in Matthew 1 and then Luke 3:23 and up. And he thought I was going to argue that. Like he was prepared for me to argue, no, Luke 3:23 is Mary's. So when I did not argue that, and he got done reading that long ass paper from Africanus Eusebius, he was expecting me to argue that and say, nah, that's Mary. So when he got done, I was like, okay. I said, all right, well let me go. And matter of fact, when he read that, that was his response to me reading that Mary is from Judah. So I don't know what that had to do with Mary from Judah. I had no idea what that had to do with that. Oh, the hell? Oh shit. Yes. So I had no idea what his proven. Thank you. I had no idea what his proven that Joseph had two lineages had to do with me proving. Because remember, he read that in response to me proving that Mary was from Judah, according to the translation coming from the Syriac Sinaiticus. Come. You know, this way. So I was like kind of confused when he went there. Then you heard me say, hey, Cat, like, why are you reading this like you're rebutting me? So you might have seen me cut him off a few times. That's another thing in the chat. People can't complain that I was cutting him off. That's because you don't know how Captain debates. I watch you guys probably watch little to none. I study a lot of his debates. What he likes to do and what he always does when he debates people, he always want to tell the crowd, the audience, what you're trying to do, what you should do, what you are doing, and he wants to tell them where you're going. So he wants to steer your angle before you can even steer your own angle. So that's why when he did that, I had to stop him because he gains a lot of leverage when he does that in his debates. So I had to say, no. That's not what I'm saying. And then you see, after all those cutoffs, it finally got to me saying, bro, what are you talking about? The supposed son of Eli. I said, bro, it doesn't say that. It says as was supposed the son of Joseph. So Cap's whole argument was that it was Luke Cap's whole argument was that Luke 3:23 was saying that Joseph was the supposed son of Eli and not that Jesus was the supposed son of Joseph. And I was like sincerely confused. Like, yo. So that's how he was trying to make it that's how he was trying to make it. I don't even know if Eusebius done that. Like, cause that was like horrible. But again, like the rounds and the way we were debating, it wasn't like I can even address a lot of his stuff. But then he would complain that I'm not addressing it. Like, dude, you're not saying one thing, two things, three things, and I go. You're saying a bunch of things. And his first round, all he did was read different passages to say that Jesus come from the seed of David. Like, literally, he read John 7:42. He read no. Wait. He like really wait. Go run. Yeah, so he literally read like Acts 2:29, like Luke 4:22. He really just read a bunch of different New Testament passages that said Jesus will come from the seed of David. I was like, dude, you just read the same shit over and over and over. That was just hilarious. So so I had won under all these various circumstances. Like, now, had Captain would have went first, then I would have seen what angle Captain was coming with. Then that means Captain wouldn't have read no storyline. Then I would have known he's not doing that, which I thought. This is what I thought. This is what I believe. I believe that's what we agreed to. I thought that was the whole point of saying prophecy fulfilled. That's why I came with that title, because of what he wanted to add in there. He wanted to add prophecy. This guy over here, get over here. So he pretty much didn't want to debate the virgin birth, New Testament. Like, I'm talking about like New Testament where I'm like, yo, Cap, just go what you want to go with. You know, when we debate the virgin birth, you go to old, new, apocrypha, do what you want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. He was like, no, like, you got to show in the Old Testament. So like he was kind of like dictating, like, even what Bible passages I need to bring out to prove the virgin birth happened. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, all right, he ain't gonna debate me if he just bring his best argument, I bring my best argument. That ain't what he want to do. Okay, so he wants me to bring up some Old Testament arguments for the virgin birth. So that's where the prophecy part comes in at. So I said, all right, well, we'll do, but I wanted the virgin birth to be in the topic. So like that was my choice. That wasn't his. So I was like, yo, aren't we debating the virgin birth? So I'm like, all right, well, look, whatever you saying, let's just make virgin birth the topic, so people don't get lost from what we're debating. when he debated Vocab Malone, like people got lost in the topic because they was arguing about everything and the virgin birth. It wasn't like the virgin birth. It was arguing. It was arguing different things because the captain and the virgin birth. I think even Vocab was kind of like lost. So they was debating like, is Joseph the daddy's prophecy, something like that. So no. I want the virgin birth in the title so people got it, so people could know after the smoke clears that we're debating the virgin birth. So anyway, so we all right. Anyway, so we were doing that for a little bit. I mean, it's they walking and talking. I'm just seeing something running around acting a fool, trying to focus on him. All right. Anyway, so that's why the title is the way it was. Who fulfills? It said virgin birth debate. Who fulfills the prophecy? Mary or Joseph? So I wanted the fulfillment in the damn debate title, not just prophecy, because that's like I said. I watched him debate Vocab Malone. And he tried to make it all about prophecy, and like Joseph he's still not in the prophecy. So all right. So anyway, but listen. So you was when I do my recap a little later when I play the video, you'll see. Over here, okay, yeah, that way, go, that way. Okay, I'm losing track. I'm trying to keep running around. We're like by the street, sort of. All right. So, okay. Yeah. So those were like mostly the circumstances that I was under, and still wanted to debate. Now, had I just been aggressive from the door, like how he was, no storyline, just read my argument, just not read it, but yeah, read it and just present my argument how the virgin birth is true and went right to Matthew 1:16, through what Captain talking about. So I was trying to stay true to my word. Like I ain't want to do what he would call sucker SHIT. It's Old Testament talk. Yeah, we when the lights cut on, I'm going straight to Matthew 1:16, Luke 1. Okay, so I was trying to stay true to my word, my word and what I agreed to. This is why I went to like Old Testament for so long. Then I ended it off Matthew 1. I never really got into Luke 1, only to rebut what he said about what was performed on Mary. So I think I did a good job rebutting him with that. He never came back to that. But I still don't believe he's going to be all enthusiastic to debate the vertebrate going forward, because I think I laid out some things. You could watch his facial expressions and his body language. He was very angry. And then he even said at the end in his closing argument that he felt like I was going somewhere he never heard before, but then he tried to like discredit me at the same time. So come over here. Nick. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, there's a dog walking. So, but yeah. Now, had I just been aggressive from the door, like I said, hey man, listen, and just got, and then had I just went to seed and just been more clear, because I was like kind of ambiguous on purpose, because the way I debate I don't like to say your argument for you. I think that's like distasteful. So I like to just present my argument and wait until you say what I think you're going to say, then I rebut it. So that's why I didn't go into seed isn't sperm. That's why I kept saying seed ain't DNA. I wouldn't use the word sperm. I kept saying seed ain't DNA, and I didn't want to argue his argument that he didn't even say yet because I'm trying to play like fair. Plus, I thought we have enough time to like really, really go over these things in depth. So, but you know, as you can see, that wasn't the case. So I said, I got to pick one, and that's why I focus on seed the most because I know from debating these guys, I'm an expert in debating the One West guys. I knew that they like to hold on seed the most because if you take seed away from literally their entire argument falls apart because they believe don't forget it has to come from a man because sperm comes from a man. That's why I said if I realized I got to pick one. I ain't got enough time here. So question to answer. Hey, you got a question for him? Yeah, seed. Romans 1:3. Where does it say sperma? And I could have beat him up worse there. But I was like, really, like I be debating like when I debate like certain people, like notoriety, like I debate with the mentality or the thought process of I'm making a deposit. So that's why come over here. Come. That's why you'll see me like on my best behavior when I be on these different platforms. Even though they're op platforms, I still be my best behavior. I look at it as a deposit. You know, I'm always welcome back. Do it again. That's why I never just like burn bridges. Hey man, screw you. Going all crazy. So when I debate, I do it as like a deposit. So I was like really careful how I debated Captain, just in case we do a part 2, because part 1 ain't really go the way either one of us wanted to go. But I think that he thinks that he knows he lost, and I think that he thinks that it can get worse for him. Like I think he feel like, whoa, damn, I lost. Damn. Had bias started like this way, it would have been really ugly for me. So I don't believe he could chance that. Because after the debate, he was watching the polls. I never watched the chat one time. I peeked inside everybody a few times. I see like the watcher. I see like certain names in there. But that was like pretty much it. I didn't read no comments because I know the rules. Those comments can throw you off, especially if you read something you don't like. That thing can throw you off, throw your whole game plan off. So, man, I ain't reading no comments. I seen names in there, but I wasn't reading no comments. But I seen Cat like on the replay watching it. I see Cat reading comments. That's why he kept saying, "Man, I don't care about the polls." And then let me add this. Yeah, this dude Captain was in the comment. Like when I was watching it over with the chat pulled up, this guy, as I'm presenting my argument, this guy Captain is in the chat influencing people. He had the nerve to say, "Yo, Sonetta, your unbiased did a mini third round on a low to try to move the polls." Dude, you're in the actual chat engaging with people, saying what I'm not doing, going over what you did, and that ain't trying to move the polls. You're in the chat. Okay. Like, dude, you're in the chat talking to people like a politician. I felt like, oh, dude, are you serious, dude? So anyway, so just go now. I could go back to what I was saying. He said, "Hey, man, you didn't even read where Mary's from Judah." Now, I keep forgetting to do this, to say this. Dude, I ain't got to, why do you think I got to prove that? Like, what's wrong with you, bro? Does the Bible say Jesus is from Judah? All right, then. Does the Bible say Joseph is the biological father of Jesus? No. So we see Jesus as from Judah, and he only has a biological mom. So for me, that's not a big deal. It's either the Most High is from Judah or Mary's from Judah. That's it. Because he's from Judah in spite Joseph not being his biological father. So I'm cool with that conclusion. I'm not going to argue the Bible. Bible says on that. So I forgot to go that route. Mainly because sometimes you're on a big stage, you just don't really want to play with that, right? You want to stay in the safe zone. Now, as you get more comfortable on these big platforms, you can start to show more of your sense of humor and go that route. But I knew there was a poll and I wanted to win, so I felt like doing that could possibly lead to like people believing that I couldn't, and also not that they even know why I need to do that, but the fact that he's asking me to do it, it's like optics. To watch his word, it's like optically, it can make me look like I can't do something that I'm supposed to do, or that I'm supposed to be able to do. That's why I just went ahead and did it. Plus, like I said, the crowd is not like a biblical crowd like that. You had guys in there saying, like, I lost before. One dude said, yo, Captain, I'm in my first round, my storyline. One dude said, Captain, you didn't even got to say nothing. Like, I'm not even done. This dude said, yo, Captain, you didn't even got to say nothing. You won. like, like, this is me, like, watching it back. Like, damn. Cause I'm reading the comments, so Captain can't say it was biased. That's why I won. But, like, the comments was literally, like, 50-50. 50% saying Captain won, but 50% saying I'm one. And it's funny that the people who are saying I'm one are actually explaining why. The people who saying Captain won ain't explaining how he won. It's like every point of argument or every point I argued with him more, he took an L. But yeah. So for example, when I got on him by seed, all right, because he said seed to David after he agreed firm, but he agreed earlier that seed meant child. Now it's firm. So I went and said, nah, bro. In the Greek here, where does it say sperm? I said, you don't know. You can't even read this stuff. I said, it doesn't say sperm, it says spermatogenes, and that means descendant. Then I went on with that. Now, oh yeah, this is what I should have done. But again, I didn't know we were doing this. But I got to just play all my cards like going forward. So when I debate virgin birth or anything religious, I'm gonna just bring all my cards out from the door. Just go for the first round knockout from the door. He even went. First of all, he went to the church fathers letters. I don't do that because also not only the Syriac Sinaiticus does it have marriage from the tribe of Judah, it also has that in Eusebius' writings. So I could actually went there first. I didn't have to touch the Syriac Sinaiticus. Again, I was trying not to beat him to the punch. I said, okay, this is usually his argument, Eusebius, but let him bring it out first, and then I'll go there. Okay, like that's what I was trying to do. Like, all right, let him do it first, not go behind him. I ain't trying to do it first. So, but I know he's not going to the Syriac. That's why I went there. Okay, but when he went to like Bible Hub parallels, I'm like, are you serious, my boy? You want me to do that to you? Like, I did no parallels. I could have ended this thing earlier. Like, dude, really? Yeah, like like parallels, like some of these things that he did, I felt like were like lifelines in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's like you really don't know, but you got somebody who might know. Come over here. It's like you really don't know, but you got somebody who might know. So I felt like that's like even when Mr. Inky debated Laura Alba, I ain't like the fact that Mr. Inky played a video. I still think that's like, unless it's just like reason why you can do that, but I felt like you should know the information in the video where you should be able to explain it too. I felt like because sometimes those people can debate and articulate better than you, so it's like kind of cheating. It's like I'm debating you because I don't think you can communicate that well to people about your information and your thoughts and your conclusions. I think I could do a better job. So I think I'm gonna win on. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to win on different things like that. Like not only information, but you're saying I can communicate better with you. I can make it seem more easier to grasp than you. It's like all those different aspects you're debating. Like, yeah, I'm just better than you. Like, oh, either on everything or I'm just more all around. But believe me, man, the Bible parallels. If I knew Captain was going to do that, I swear. Uh, that's why you see when I did the video over, when I did my video over, I edited it and I put all my verses and his verses. I made sure you read, not all, but I made sure you read the Bible parallels, not just for the ones he cherry picked on. I made sure you read Bible parallels on mostly everything he did, especially on the seed of David, where the Bible parallels continuously say descendants, offspring, and none of them ever say sperm. Yeah, so I was like giving him too much credit. Over here. Over here. I was giving him too much credit as though we would do the work. Like we would show our work, like in math. Yeah, all right. Go ahead. Like where we gotta show our own work. We don't rely on somebody else's work. But yeah, all right. But as I watched him in live time, real time, and when I watched it over, I seen that this is not the guy that I thought it was. This is a desperate guy that do anything to win. Like he doesn't believe in his ability like that. Like I thought he did. I thought he believed in himself. He believed in his research, and he believed that he was correct. I see like 100% now that it's more just antics. Like he uses antics. Like he doesn't believe his research is over here. Like he doesn't believe his antics are genuine. This way. This no, over here. Go over here. He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe his research is genuine. Things like that. I could tell now. Like, okay, he don't believe in himself that well. It's almost like a woman who's always taking pictures on social media. You will believe that she's conceited or she is confident, she's full of herself. No. You realize when you meet those women, you realize a lot of them are insecure. They're taking pictures for reassurance. Every like, every compliment is helping their esteem. Do it. Yeah. But anyway, so when he did the when he did the Eusebius writing and then doing the question and answering, I don't know how he just did that. Because he asked me the question. Now keep in mind, this is the guy who was saying I did a mini third round when the debate was over during the question and answer period. Now he asked me, where does this show or say that Mary's from Judah? So I actually read it. This is during the question and answer. I actually read it in the Syriac Sinaiticus English translation of the Syriac. So it's supposed to be, so you would think he'll cross-examine the source. Well, he tried to. Hey, when was this written? Here. Well, you said it was this. No, it's a translation of the Greek. It's not. The Greek is not a translation. This is a translation. This is the earliest translation of the original, the Greek. Okay. He kind of like mixed up what I was saying. Then I corrected him. So now what? So now I still got this early Syriac text in front of me, or this English translation of the Syriac in front of me. So what are you gonna do with this? So now then he read off. He's okay. Let me respond. But then he read the Joseph Two Lineages. What the hell that got to do with me reading Mary from Judah from the Syriac English? And check this out. Remember, in his closing argument, now he accused me of a mini third round, but in his closing argument, that's when he finally responded to my Syriac. He went to Bible translations on Luke 2 and 4. And he even misread that. He like, dude, you got to read 2, 4, and 5. So like you misread this also. And that was in his closing argument. In your closing argument, you cannot make a new argument. In my closing argument, I didn't really make a closing argument. I just was like, hey man, thanks for the opportunity, blah blah blah. I really ain't say much. This guy was arguing again, a new argument. So when I proved that Mary's from Judah through the English Syriac Sinaiticus, he said, I want to respond. Then he read off the two lineages, or the lineage in Luke 3:5 as Joseph under, and he said as was supposed was Joseph as was supposed the son of Eli. Like, God damn, how you upgrade that from Jesus to Joseph? And then when he got done, I just, oh yeah, all right. Hey, Sock, can I get 10 minutes? He took 10 minutes to explain this shit. And this had nothing to do with me proving that Mary is from Judah. So I'm like, all right, well, since he just read something, it seems like an argument to me. Can I say something? So he did the first mini third round. So then I went over Matthew 1:16 when you guys were saying go over Matthew 1:18. No, you don't do that. You guys would have took an L. You guys would have lost that debate. Don't forget, I was down 47% to 53%. I was actually down. So reading Matthew 1:18 ain't gonna do it. I gotta disconnect Joseph from Jesus beyond a shadow of a doubt. So I went to Matthew 1:16. That's the best place to do it. I've been doing this for a long time. I know where to go. I know what I did not do, and I know the most impactful scriptures. Not no damn 1:18 and ceremony. I ain't doing that with people who don't know the Bible. They don't know the Bible, but they know it does not say Joseph begot Jesus. I know that. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go here. This is gonna break the tie or whatever he got. I even said that. I said, this is gonna do it for me. Did it do it for me? I won. So I went to Matthew 1:16, the right place to go, and I read at I highlighted, I made sure I said it slow, I remixed it, I put subtitles. What I got put in subtitles or something? I did all that to show that this is not talking about Joseph, right? So I did that. And then he got mad. Come on. He got mad. Said, yo, he did a mini third round. He didn't respond to my Eusebius, Luke. Over there. He responds. He said, unbiased in response to what I just read about Afrikaans and Eusebius. And I was like, well, wasn't your Africanus Eusebius a response to my proving that Mary was from Judah, which did not respond to that? So that's why I did my Matthew 1:16. Oh man, that's a mini third round. What was your lineage thing about? Was that a mini third round too? And what about your closing argument? That was a mini fourth round. Were you rebutting what I said earlier about Mary and Judah coming from David's house? So it wasn't going well for him. And I think he said, yeah, he did that so he could swing the poles. Captain, you're in the goddamn chat arguing people and trying to convince them that I'm not making a good argument. He's literally in the chat. Like, what the? Oh, yeah, I wish I'd have known that. Like, Sanetti, get this guy out the damn chat, man. I swear I would have said that. Come on. I swear I would have been like, yo, Sanetti, can you get this guy out of the chat? He's trying to influence the voters this way. Like, can you imagine, like, you ever watched like the presidential debates when you got Biden and Trump on the stage and over. Can you imagine like they're on the stage debating and then they take a break, whatever, and Biden's in the crowd still talking to the people. Like, anyway. Come. Yeah, come. Come. Run, you run. This way. Now put it back down. Put it down. Yeah, run, run, run. Run, you run. Run, 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 run. Yeah. In the chat. Dude. I swear I cannot believe that. This dude is actually in the chat arguing with them and like trying to convince them that how weak my arguments are. And I'm not responding to so and so. Is the chat. So but then he don't respect polls. Like, dude, you are really paying attention to the damn poll. I don't know the percentage. I really didn't care. I truly felt like going in as I came in that night that the best I can do is lose a close debate. As nowhere in my mind I thought Captain would beat me 60-40, 70-30. I nowhere in my mind I thought that could happen. And that was my best night, and it wouldn't be a night like that either. But had I known I was debating, I would have had my arguments put together. I would have already contacted Sonetta about my the format I wanted, and then he could have said right then and there, nah, I'm biased. We're gonna do introduction 15, 10, 10, then rebuttal. Then I could have been like, okay, cool. Now I'm prepared for that. That's why I say Cat should be double shameful that I won in spite of all of those things happening at one time. That was not in my favor. Screen not sharing. I don't even know. I'm just reading. Captain had to tell me one time that my screen ain't sharing. What? What? Come. Here you go. Yeah, so you had all that going in the background. So under those conditions, most of y'all would have took it complete L. It could have been too overwhelming, and like there's a certain amount of esteem you got to have in yourself, confidence, trust in yourself to make you say, nah, I can overcome all this with all that going on. And like I don't have that with everything I do, but when it comes to the virgin birth, I definitely felt like that on that subject. Now, had this been a different subject, can a Gentile be saved? And I'm caught off guard, then maybe I'd be like, yo, sorry, man, hell no, I'm on my way to so and so. Tonight's ain't gonna work. I got to pull a guard on them. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. But you notice that Cap ain't do a recap. Cap, his name is funny. He be capping in those debates, but he ain't do a recap. He debated Vocab Malone, and he thought it was close. He went and did a recap. Did a few of them. Sakari did a recap on it. I don't even know I don't know if they did a poll, because that was on Garf Channel. I don't know if they did a poll to determine the winner, but many people recapped that one. But me and Captain Debate noticed all these major Israelite camps, even the small ones, nobody recapped it. Like they knew they took a L as a collective. They knew, this is an L for us. This dude gave some strong arguments. He rebutted most of everything he got a chance to rebut. He rebutted successfully. Capping had no comeback, no sound comeback. So they were wise to leave that alone. Like, okay, hell no, let's leave this one alone. They said, let's leave this one alone. Eating we on water? Okay, go on for water. Yeah, so but I and like that's why look, let me put you on my mind state. When we were debating and I was under all those circumstances where like stuff ain't working out for me, like in my direction, as far as how the day was going, the night was going, the format, things like that, presentation ain't showing, and I'm not prepared for it, even pull up sources. I'm just off the top, like, because I know this stuff. I just could freestyle just typing in freehand. That saved me. Just proper preparation prevents poor performances. Like, I knew these verses in my head, so I was okay not having the physical, drawn out evidence, slides. What gave me the most confidence is that, like, during some point in the debate, it was before the cross examination, I believe. But Sanetta said, "Hey man, the polls got unbiased 47% and Captain 53%. I knew I was gonna win. I promise you." I said, "Oh, it's over. I promise you." I said, and y'all heard me say it. Until I go back, I said, "Okay, guys, some of you guys heard the prophecies. Captain did good. I did good. Whatever." I said, "But the fulfillment part, this is gonna be enough to push me towards the win." Once I read those damn polls, I knew it was over for Captain because it shouldn't have been that close. I said, "I got this. I got this. I just got to talk one more time." And that's why I went. That's when I went to Matthews 116. And Captain like, "Hey man, that was a mini third round." When he did the mini third round first, and then he did a mini fourth round on his closing argument. He presented a whole new argument. He's still rebutting me in his closing argument. He's still rebutting me. You want to recap? Hopefully, we can touch on all this. I can be heading home now. I took a nice little walk with the Wawa. I did a little walk with him. Get him tired. Oh yeah, come this way. Did a little walk with him. I'm tired out so I can do my thing. But this was a good one. But once he read those polls, I'm like, wait a minute. Down 6? That's it? Okay, let's check the polls. I'm like, okay, I don't know where it's at. They don't have me down too far. I got this guy because I didn't even hone in on Matthew. It shows how Joseph's not the dad. I'm like, if I got it close without doing that, it's over. And when he read that poll, I promise you, it's gonna. Look, doggy, doggy, doggy. Doggy, doggy. Yeah, so when he did that, I got him. It's this close, and I didn't even read Matthews 116. I can go in on it yet. It's over. So if y'all go back, which I'm gonna recap, y'all gonna see how confident I was when I had to talk one more time. I said, "Hey man, it's close, And it's close, and all we did was really argue prophecy. We didn't do fulfillment just yet. I was saying now we're going to fulfillment. At least for me, I didn't argue. I guess Captain was. I don't know, but I said at least for me, I didn't argue fulfillment yet. So it's about to get ugly. I said, so I know I got this. I'm paraphrasing, but you guys know I was hella confident going into my New Testament argument. So now I was a bit disappointed that I won by a small margin, but I kind of blame myself for that. Not even like the voters, because like I said, I could have. This is a critique on what I could have done and what I didn't do. So I just looking back, like when Sonetta said, "Hey man, Bosch had been in the '70s," I'm like, maybe had I done it this way, I would have been in the '70s. But what I gave them, and understanding a lot of people don't have a good Bible base. Like people are arguing science, and like people just can't follow any type of argument in the chat. It's like, dude, like my boy, my sisters, like y'all are listening to a Bible debate, idiots. It's not about science or your belief or what's right and what's wrong. It's about what does the text say. This is some literary stuff going on here. I mean, like if I tune in on a debate with Lord of the Rings, ain't that fairy tale? But if they're arguing events that happen in the book, I gotta judge it by who's close to what happened in the book. Just goofiness, but like people just be butthurt and just like fake like they hate religion so much. But dude, you're here listening to religion. You can't hate it that much. I want to debate the existence of God. That guy. Yakub, the big-headed pseudoscientist. Come. Mad because now they're on the same platforms as me, and even more. Definitely more relevant than me as of late on these platforms. Trying to get attention to the same people I'm trying to get attention of, and only I was able to speak to these guys. And the hate for that man just grew where he couldn't even control himself. Like, damn, this guy done sat there and talked to everybody who I just made videos about. Now he's debating Captain on the biggest stage there is on things like this, on religion. And he won. Not just that, and he won. Like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. I've been trying to get this man attention for like 10 years straight. Unbiased has come on the scene. A year later, he's debating him on the biggest platform to debate something like this. Yes. Look at that doggy. 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 Come over. That doggy. That is wet. That doggy. Here come. Damn. Yeah, man, it did get chilly. It was nice earlier. It's about time to wrap this one up. Yeah, I mean, instead of just congratulations, like instead of congratulations and congratulating me, pops up out of nowhere. Haven't been on my live at none of my comment sections, like visibly for a while. But he wants to make himself known visibly during my victory lap recap. Not even a recap, just a victory lap after party of my dub. But nobody can win this debate because the Bible contradicts itself. But I wanted, even though, so I'm biased. You can't win on this debate topic because the Bible contradicts itself, so you can't win. But I want to debate these same guys in the Bible and win. Wait a minute. Yakub. So unbiased sports can't win in the Bible versus Bible people, Bible believers, because, or purported Bible believers, because the Bible contradicts itself. So you can't win in the Bible debate in the Bible because the Bible contradicts itself. But you want to debate, the same people in the Bible to win a Bible debate. One more time, Umar style. Unbiased sports. You can't win a debate in the Bible because the Bible contradicts itself. Okay? But I want to debate the same people you debated to beat them, to win in a Bible debate in spite of the Bible contradicting itself. Makes sense. Makes sense. Now I'm gonna blame it on his alcohol. He had that holy water, and he was unbecoming. He wasn't himself. That's what happened. I'll tell his story for him. But when I do my recap, I'm going to speed up a little bit, but you can still hear us. It's an hour and 40-minute debate. And I'm going to be stopping here. And I'm going to try to stop as least as possible. Okay, no more. No. Yeah, so so anyway, so after he lost, I knew he'll have excuses, the chat bias. So I was like, yo, funny they're biased because they're giving 50% love to you, 50% love to me. That's why they were so close. Their polls were so close. But I was like, yo, we could finish on your channel. Like, so I'm willing to go behind enemy lines to finish the debate, and he could do polls on his channel. Wait. You know what I mean? I'm willing to do that because just as long as we can argue the way we were arguing on this channel before. Like, I don't want, some time. Nah, let's address all of your passages that you say people don't address. You about to get some smoke for everything. Now, he reads the Virgin, right, in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. That's why on the this is probably the only influential addition I added to our debate. I added that part because I wanted you guys to note that he skipped where it says a virgin is a woman without sex. Like, so he's reading the virgin definition in the Zondervan Bible Illustrated Bible Dictionary, and he skipped the top where it says a virgin is a woman without sex, Betula, whatever. He skipped all that. That he went right down to where he wanted to start from. So I was just showing you guys that this guy research just cannot be trusted. He's cherry picking. Just terrible. So that's why I added that. That's only an addition. Everything else, I just like I said, influential. Cause I'm pointing it out to you. Like, you wouldn't have seen that had I not pointed that out. But everything else, I just added the Bible. I added Bible parallels. That's all. So when he brought out the CCC, I just showed the Bible parallels. So you still seeing the KJV what he's reading, but you'll see the other Bible parallels on how they worded that, and you'll see it never says sperm, the sperm of David. That's why I did that, because he used Bible parallels at the end of it in his closing argument rebuttal. Never heard of that. But he rebutted me in the closing argument. From my knowledge, closing arguments are an overview of what was already stated. So that was very, very interesting. This way. This way. Every day. Yes, I'm headed home now. To go over some of this stuff. Right. Every day. I've been walking. I have not read the chat. I don't know if nobody's there. Maybe I'm talking to myself. I don't know. Because I called in. I'm not like looking at a Zoom app or YouTube. Nothing. But now, with the computer, they share the screen. I say about 5 minutes. I'll be ready to. In about 5 minutes, I'll be ready to present and go over the things. But I wanted to lay that storyline out for you guys. So when y'all go back and watch it, y'all can see where I was coming from when I was debating. Like Sonetta literally called me as I was on my way somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, what up, Si? You ready? I'm like, for what? Oh, you debating captains? Like, I thought that was next Friday. No, that's now. Like now, like not even like in a half an hour. Now? Like, oh shit. All right, man. Let me turn around. It was that type of thing. And keep in mind, I'm not sure if he's live yet. I'm thinking he's live as he's talking to me, and they're waiting on me. Click a link. Yeah, send your email. So in my mind, I'm thinking, sent me a link. Click to get on live and they're live right now waiting on me. They're just talking and doing whatever Sarnetta does, waiting on me. So when I went back and watched like captains leading up to that, like it was getting late and I wasn't there. And captain was like, I hope he ain't run. I'm like, oh, this guy. Hope I ain't run right. I ran right into a W. So I'm just letting you guys know I won under those circumstances. A lot was going on. My presentation was not ready at all. Never was ready. So I had to rebut them on the fly, just based on, like I said, proper preparation. I felt the captain wanted to go first. I would allow him to. He likes to go first. That would have worked out in my favor. I ended up going first. No problem. What else? The format of the debate, I thought it'd be like how we were debating before when I called in Crossline Radio, when I joined Sarnetta on the call out to One West, the same way we debated like that. I thought that would be a structure. You know, I didn't know it'd be a 15-minute introduction. So when I did my intro, if y'all remember, look how quick I was. Like even Sarnetta was like, hey man, I think you might want to think a little longer. It was like that's how unprepared I was. And if anybody know me, like I'm a prepared freak. Like when I'm involved in something, I'm like all the way like tuned in. So if I'm that unprepared, that's anybody who's been watching me should know that was a flag like hell, especially on this debate. Like, come on, I don't have an intro. Like that should be your first flag. Like, yeah, nah, shit. Bias must say no, he was debating tonight. He must have left his laptop somewhere. The hell, he ain't got an intro. Or his topic. Only thing he's been debating for like the last year and a half, if that, but definitely a year. Yeah, not a year and a half, but the last year, he definitely got something for this. Come here, come. Who? Deny? All right. So I'm finally home. Let's get this lacking. Okay. Let's get this lacking. Hold on. Where's my mouse? All right. All right, we're here.
All right.
I'm ready.
Time starts.
Okay, so when he says seed of a man, again, don't get. The Bible talks about a seed, is talking about a generation or descendants or even an actual child. So the prophecy actually starts with Eve. Okay, it starts with a woman. It doesn't start with a man. Okay, that's where he wants you to believe. So it starts right here in Genesis 3:15. Everybody knows Eve and Adam took the fruit of the tree, and the Lord was cursing Eve, Adam, and the serpent. So Genesis 3:15, it says, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, descendants. It shall bruise thy head, and
thou shalt bruise his heel. Okay, so the prophecy starts right here, nowhere else. It starts right here, and then it matriculates down to Abraham. So we'll see it again, the word seed with Abraham. So if we go to Genesis 15, okay, you're going to see it goes to Abraham. So right here in verse 13, it says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed, descendants, nothing freaky over here, pause, shall be a stranger in the land. So keep in mind, Eve's seed, and then his Abraham's seed shall be a stranger. So stranger seed shall be a stranger. Seed is descendants. That's only context. And the stranger that's not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall.
All right, so peace. I could finally see the chat. So Love Joy, SMH, E Bizzle, Timmy Turner, ICK in context with Jim Green. My email didn't work. Let me see what happened with that. Tone G, A Mitch, Minister Meach. Yeah, like literally on the fly. Literally. But you know, we were studying and going over this so much. You know, that shouldn't surprise any of us that was on this journey. Okay, so now this is the addition I added. So obviously I added this in. It's to show you the different parallels since Captain used a parallel rebuttal during his closing argument. Dude had a closing argument rebuttal. Never heard of that. Okay, so when he talks his trash, yeah, just make sure you tell him, like, dude, you had a closing argument rebuttal. So seed, this is the seed of Abraham, descendants. You don't see sperm. Stop me when you see sperm.
Them for 400 years. Okay, and then from there, we go to Rebecca.
I want to move to the YouTube channel so I can speed it up.
Okay, so the word seed, we're going to follow it. So right here, we go back to woman. So we got Eve's seed, we got Abraham's seed, now we got Rebecca's seed. And they blessed Rebecca and said unto her, thou art our sister, be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed, Rebecca's seed, her descendants, possess the gate of those which hate them. Okay, so Rebecca's seed is going to possess a gate of those that hate them. This stems all the way back to Genesis 3:15. Okay, so now we're talking about seed, and then it's going to narrow down. It's going to start to narrow down who it's pointing to. All right, so let me bring you real quick to Galatians 3:16. So it says, now to Abraham and his seed, descendants, you can't promise this to anybody but humans, were the promises made. He said, not unto seeds of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ. So since the beginning, from Abraham to Eve to King David, it starts with a seed, and the seed is ultimately Christ the whole time. Okay, but it's going to matriculate down to Christ. So we got Eve's seed, we got Abraham's seed, which is generic. It could be anybody. Eve was the mother of everybody. Abraham was the father of many nations, and Rebecca, same thing. She was called the mother of many nations. Okay, the mother of kings. So it's still ambiguous. It's still trying to pinpoint who it's talking about. Okay, so now we'll go to where the line of Judah starts, right here in Genesis 38. And Judah said unto Onan, go unto thy brother's wife and marry her and raise up seed to thy brother. Okay, but look what happened. And Onan knew the seed would not be his. So again, the seed, child, descendant, nothing else in this context. Okay, he knew the child would not be his, because this is the Levirate law. And it came to pass when he went into his brother's wife that he stood it on the ground, lest that he should give seed, a child, to his brother. We can get it popping. Okay, so here the Most High told King David that he will raise up a seed after thee, seed again, descendant, child after him, which shall proceed of thy bowels, and he will establish his kingdom. So we all notice this is ultimately Solomon. Okay, so Solomon ended up taking the torch. But so we got Isaiah 7:14, which you all know. Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. So this was the first prophecy towards something later. Okay, so this whole seed passing, this whole King David's son, that was over. Solomon ruined it. So when it comes to Isaiah 7:14, the Lord said, okay, this prophecy was the Lord is now going to handpick who's going to be the woman to carry this seed. And that woman did not have a man. So we'll go to Matthew 1.
So if you notice, let me check my audio. I think my audio low. So if you notice that I had shortened my introduction, I took out Ruth, I took out Rahab, I took out Tamar on my channel. Like the original intro first round is on Sunday TV. I shortened it up because I felt like it went over most people's heads. You got to really be a Bible thumper to understand where I was going with that. So just to keep people, I know you guys got ADD, so to keep you in tune in my argument, I just took that out and I left just the seed parts there. Seed is descendant. So on my upload, you just hear me say seed, and then Isaiah 7 and Matthew 1 to show how the prophecy was fulfilled through Mary. But that's why I did that. I took it out just to keep you guys, not you guys, but to keep other people who don't really know the arguments like that or know the story like that. I want to just keep them focused. They could get lost in my opening. Okay, so let me just, in case somebody want to join, let me share my link.
Sean, what size you got?
Okay, in case. All right, so I just want to give you that backstory.
And we'll see in wordings that this prophecy was fulfilled. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on his wise when his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph. Before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not wanting to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not. Don't fear for your life to take on Mary thy wife. For that which is conceived in her is of Joseph, no, the Holy Ghost. And she shall bring forth a son and shall call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken, what we just read, the Lord of the prophets saying, behold. So we see it being fulfilled, okay? So let Captain Imagination go somewhere else, but we see the words fulfilled here. Behold, a virgin shall be with a child and bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is being interpreted as God with us. So that's a quick prophecy all the way down to fulfillment. We see that Mary, the virgin, even though virgin is not exclusive to women without sex, but it's definitely exclusive to women who are young. And most women who are young are without sex, although not all are. Some could be married. But Mary, but that's neither here or there. Mary was the virgin, the young maiden who was chosen to be the mother of Christ. We see it right here. We see the word fulfilled. So I'm going to continuously to read things in the Bible being done while my opponent is going to read it into the text. We see the word fulfilled, Mary, Jesus, okay? Emmanuel, which is being interpreted as God with us. That's it, okay? He did not have sex with her. That's what no not means until she gave firstborn, her son, Jesus Christ. So that's plain, that's why every Christian believes it, just plain English.
Like the video, thumb up the video. All right, Captain. It's on you, my brother. Share your screen. Let me know when you're ready. Time will start when you start, brother. The time will start when you start. You got 15 minutes. This is the first round.
Can you hear me all right, sir?
I hear you loud and clear.
Let me present my screen. I'm going to just share my entire screen because I'm going to show some things here. No problem. So he starts here with, I will put enmity between thee and the woman and between thy seed and her seed to make it seem like a woman can have seed. He then also referenced Rebecca, which is right here, and said, thou art our sister, be thou mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate. Seed is just slang or another word for a child. That's all that means. So when you see this between thy seed and her seed, it just seems between that child and her child. Doesn't mean that she have seed because
Did you just hear this fool? He just said, "Feed me, child." This is amazing. One more time. Amazing.
thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate. Seed is just slang or another word for a child. That's all that means. So when you see this between thy seed and her seed, it just seems between that child and her child. But our sister, be thou mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate. Seed is just slang or another word for a child. That's all that means. So when you see this between thy seed and her seed, it just seems between that child and her child. Doesn't mean that she have seed because he went to Genesis 38 and 9 and says, and Onan knew that the seed should not be his. If the woman had her own seed, why did he bring up the Levirate law when a man dies without a seed? His brother or relative has to carry seed for him. It shouldn't matter because if that's his wife, it's going to be that seed of that mother regardless. The whole point of having a Levirate law is if a man dies without a child, a male child at that, the brother raises up child for him. So I don't know why he brought this up, because when he brought up Tamar, that's the proof that a woman carries the seed. So yes, it's her seed, but the seed comes from the man. The man plants the seed in the woman gives birth to the child, and the child is born. So whether you call it her seed or his seed at that point, it doesn't matter. It's where the seed starts. Terrible job. Even when he was running down that lineage, now, Ruth was not a Moabite. She was just an Israelite living in Moab. But look what it does. In Matthew 1, it says, and Judas begat Pharez and Zerah of Thamar. Then when he brings up Ruth, the part that he's not bringing out is that when it says, and Salmon begat Boaz of Rechab, and Boaz begat Obed of Ruth, it's mentioning the men. He only mentioned the women. Why is it mentioning the men? Because all of them connect.
He said I only mentioned the women. He forgot that we had an argument to present how who fulfills a prophecy. So I chose to show through women. You chose to show through men. I wanted to be opposing. I wanted to have opposing views, but be correct.
Back to David. So I just paused my time. I just want to make sure that my PowerPoint can be seen because you was bringing up the visual. Can it be seen pretty clear here or no? Do I need to make it bigger?
Yeah, you see it? Your time is 13 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
All
So
right.
now, when it comes to this particular debate, what we have to look at is the prophecy which he started. This is about the prophecy of Christ. Does it come through Mary or Joseph? He brought up the word virgin, which I'm going to break down and kill in a second. And it's not just going to be my words. It's going to be within the scriptures. So now in 2 Samuel 7 and 12, it says, and when thy days be fulfilled and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up seed after thee. Even by his own words, that seed has to come from a male. If that husband and wife died without a male seed, the brother raises up seed for the father. He brought Genesis 38 up, which proves that this seed is talking about what a man implants into a woman.
So you guys are reading that seed. It's still offspring and descendants. How do you plant descending? How do you plant an offspring in a woman? How do you plant a descendant in a woman? How did the man? He's literally arguing that the man is having an immaculate conception.
So now it says, I will set up seed which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Verse 14 says, I will be his father, and he shall be my son, meaning every son of David is the Lord's son. That's what the text say. So even Christ being the son of God is not enough to just be the son of God, because Exodus 4 and 22, we're all sons of God. You have to be the son or seed of David. That's a part of the prophecy. It says, I will be his father, and he shall be my son. Now, when you go to Romans 1 and 3, This says, concerning his son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. That whole exegete, man, I ain't trying to be that smart. Christ said, I'm glad he kept this from the wise and prudent and gave it to babes. So when he says, read it as is, it says, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. That word seed in the Greek is sperm, or sperma in Greek, which is sperm, because everybody knew how he had to be born. If I go to Acts 2:29, this is what the Lord said. It says, men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day. Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that God had swore an oath to him that the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he would raise up Christ to sit on the throne. So now if he modifies this and says now it's just about the woman, then he has to show where the oath that the Lord swore to David changed to where now it's only going to be a woman, because this is in the New Testament that they're saying the Lord swore an oath that the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he would raise up Christ to sit on the throne. I ain't exegeting, I'm reading it like he reading it. I just know what common sense is. So now let me see. Do I want to come up here? So now when we have that understanding, if I go to John 1:45, it says, Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, we have found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write. Why is that important when it says Moses and the law and the prophets did write? Because what Moses said about about Christ was in Deuteronomy 18:18. When it says, I would raise them up a prophet from among their brethren like unto thee. So he's raising up a prophet from among the brothers. He's not raising up a magic Superman that don't have the ability to sin. That type of man is not what the Lord told David. The Lord told David it would be his son. So now it says, Philip findeth Nathanael, and saith unto him, we have found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. That's not, I ain't saying nothing. The text say the son of Joseph. I thought I had to go to the scripture, but it's right here. Let's go more. Luke 4:22. And all bear him witness and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, is this not Joseph's son? Now here's what he unbiased and those that believe that Joseph is not the father would have to be saying is that Jesus is the biggest lie in the New Testament, because the prophets believe that this was the actual son of Joseph. The people believe that this was the son of Joseph. We just read Acts the 2nd chapter that the Lord swore to David an oath that from the fruit of his loins, that's where Christ came from. So everybody is, Mary, Joseph, God, the angels, all got these prophets believing a lie. All of them. Because they're saying this is Joseph's son. John 6:42. And they said, is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it that he said, I came down from heaven? Which is going to be very interesting for him to answer, because no matter what way you say he was born, he came out of a womb. So he didn't just come down from heaven and land on earth. He came out as a baby. Galatians 4:4. It says, but when Jesus was, when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his own son, made of a woman, because he better not do what I think he's going to do in Matthew's, the 1st chapter. Made of a woman under the law. We're all made of a woman. Here we go. Verily I say unto you, this is Matthew's 11:11, Christ's words. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, that's what you call a body bag. Born of women, we're all born of women. They have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, that's a different subject. So now here it is. He's talking about John the Baptist being born of a woman. I don't know what else to say. Let me keep going. I did those. So now, here we go. All I'm doing is laying down scriptures. Now, we just read about Joseph being the father of Christ. The seed of David having to, excuse me, Christ having to come from the seed of David. Romans 1:3 says sperm, says sperma in the Greek, which is sperm, according to the flesh. 2 Timothy 2:8. Remember that Jesus Christ is the seed of David, excuse me, that Jesus Christ of the seed of David was raised from the dead according to the gospel. Again, seed of David doesn't say seed of a woman, doesn't say seed of Mary, doesn't say none of that. Here's another one, Hebrews 2:16. But now remember, he said I have to answer what he said. I'm answering everything that he's saying. And I'm just reading the text as is. Let's see if he does the same. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Now he's taking on another seed. How is he taking on this seed? Wherefore, in all things, not some things, in all things, it behooved him. Let me just make sure I highlight this. It behooved him to be made like unto his brethren. He has to answer that. Because if it behooved him to be made like his brothers, why is he making Christ be born outside or not like his brothers? And here's why he wanted to be made like his brothers, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in that he himself have suffered being tempted, he is able to secure them that are tempted. Romans 8:3. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh. Because remember, the whole reason they say God had to make Mary pregnant is to make Mary, excuse me, to make Christ be sinless. But Mary was a sinner too. Mary was born in the same flesh. Unless you're going to tell me Mary was born immaculately too, because that's the only way that this is going to work. There is no point for Christ being born through Mary if Mary got the same flesh that we all got. Because if it's about sinful flesh, Mary was in that same sinful flesh. God sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. Verse 6, this is John 7:42. Have not the scriptures said that Christ cometh of the seed of David? This is what everybody knew. You notice he said he didn't want me to flood with no scriptures. So what did he want me to do? Talk like him? The scriptures say, let God be true and every man a liar. So he has to answer the scriptures. All I'm doing is reading the scriptures, breaking down the scriptures. So he has to touch the scriptures that I'm pulling. This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. How much time I got, Si, if you don't mind me asking?
You got 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to start here. This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Why do I have the Zondervan Bible Dictionary? We're going to talk about this word virgin. Now, I didn't write none of this because he said I'm an exegete, eisegete, whatever that nonsense is. I didn't write this. But this is the word virgin. Isaiah 7:14. First of all, if you're going to use Isaiah 7:14, Isaiah 7:14 happens in Isaiah the 8th chapter as well. And that's a man and a woman having sex for Ahaz. So now, once you utilize that, scripture, you can't say there's no sex involved because that's utilized in the very next chapter, in the 8th chapter. So now, the former term is rendered virgin in the standard lexicon, and this translation does.
Now, you see, he started here. He didn't start here. He didn't start here. So he's cherry picking his sources.
Okay, so I'm going to start here. This is Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Why do I have the Zondervan Bible Dictionary? We're going to talk about this word virgin. Now, I didn't write none of this because he said I'm an exegete, eisegete, whatever that nonsense is. I didn't write this. But this is the word virgin. Isaiah 7:14. First of all, if you're going to use Isaiah 7:14, Isaiah 7:14 happens in Isaiah the 8th chapter as well. And that's a man and a woman having sex for Ahaz. So now, once you utilize that scripture, you can't say there's no sex involved because that's utilized in the very next chapter, in the 8th chapter. So now, the former term is rendered virgin in the standard lexicon, and this translation does seem appropriate in many or even most passages. Moreover, the abstract cognate Betulum, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize, or Bathwala, a plural form, appears to indicate virginity. In Deuteronomy 22:14, it means evidence of virginity. But see, in Ezekiel 23:3 and 8 below, there are, however, several considerations that should be kept in mind. In a number of passages where Betulum or Bathwala occurs, nothing in the context suggests virginity is the factor under consideration, and thus rendering maiden or young woman is more appropriate. B, sometimes the word Bathwala, that's how I pronounce it, is accompanied by the comment that the woman or women in question had not had sexual relationships. That's how you know if it's about not having sex or if it's just a young woman. I'm going to go to the next slide. The second Hebrew term is Alma, which is what Isaiah 7:14 uses. The term Alma is clearly the feminine form of 86624, a young man. This factor affects our understanding of Alma in the most controversial passage, Isaiah 7:14, which traditionally has been translated, "Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son." Now, this is in the Bible dictionary. Cap did not write this. The NRSV and other modern versions, however, use young woman in this passage because it has nothing to do with sex at all. Some have argued that if Isaiah had intended the meaning virgin, he would have used Bathwala instead, but clearly this argument does not work, for as noted above, Bathwala too often has a general meaning without a reference to sexual experience. On the other hand, it is a fair argument to say that if Isaiah had wanted to stress the woman's virginity, he had other means of doing so, a woman who has not known a man, as in Numbers 31 and 35. It may well be that Alma refers normally to a young woman of sexual maturity who is unmarried and therefore assumed to be a virgin. Now, here's an example of what they're saying that Isaiah could have done. In Genesis 24:16,
1 minute.
it's how many? What'd you say, Si?
1 minute. 1 minute.
Gotcha. Genesis 24:16, and the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin. Neither had any man known her. You see that connotation? But they don't put that connotation with Isaiah 7:14 because the point of Isaiah 7:14 was that it was just a young woman. That's all that it meant. Now, when I get into my second round and go further, I'll tell you what they really think about the virgin birth or immaculate conception. We'll go into Matthew, the breakdown with Matthew, the breakdown with Luke, and we'll get into the lineages, and then we'll just crush this whole thing. But he got to respond to what I said. I yield.
All right, let's go on Bias Sports. Get that up, that PowerPoint up and running. We have completed the first round, moving into the second round.
Okay, so Cat act like he ain't know why I was emphasizing on seed when it says Eve seed, Rebecca seed, Abraham seed, so I'd be a stranger, because he's alluding to you that seed means sperm. Cat, this is Romans 1 and 3. Which one of these words is sperm? You don't know. Okay, none of these words are sperm. Okay, so you got a word called descendants. It's spermatos. Okay, you can't read Greek. I can. So good luck with that. So there's no sperm here, bro. And spermatos in the Greek is descendants. This is why I was pointing out that Eve descendants, Abraham descendants. And when I went to Genesis 38 and 6, it talked about he didn't want to raise up another seed for his brother as a child, my boy. Okay, it's not some DNA. So it's an actual living, breathing thing. That's my point. When you see seed, it's going to be a living, breathing person or a descent. Somebody still living and breathing, just so many lineages down. All right, so now let me tackle the Zondervan thing real quick. Okay, so this is the Zondervan illustrated by dictionary Bible he's talking about. Okay, so he didn't run. He want to read virgin. It says a virgin is a woman who has not had sexual intercourse. The relevant Hebrew term betula, which he said 435, which occurs over 50 times. Okay, so the first thing you're going to read is a woman who has not had sexual intercourse. But let's go down to the bottom. Why they put this word alma there? Let's go down to the bottom. So it might be a little not as big as it needs, but it says it may well be that alma, like betula means equally similar, refers normally to a young woman of sexual maturity. But this guy says nothing to do with sex. To a woman of sexual maturity who is unmarried and therefore assumed to be a virgin. So we got sexual there. So when a person's called alma, sure. Okay, let's go down further. It says in Isaiah 7:14, might be a little small for you, but it's okay. It says the Septuagint, followed by Matthew 1:23, translates alma, which Greek parthenos, G4221, which usually means virgin. This Greek term, too, however, is not free of ambiguity. So I already said earlier that when you read virgin in the Bible, in the English Bible, it does not mean necessarily a woman without sex, but it does not exclude it either. Okay, so it says, and in many passages, the sense young or unmarried woman is preferable. Okay, so we know that when you are called alma, you're definitely young, you're not old. Okay, then it says, is explicitly described, this is the next red rectangle. It says, as not having known a man. This is what he's pointed out. This is Luke 134. And as having conceived supernaturally. So his definition where he went, the Zondervan, it acknowledges that Mary has conceived supernaturally prior to her being joined to Joseph, Matthew chapter 1, verse 18, my boy. So you're deferring to what they got to say, but you didn't hear the conclusion of the matter. They recognize this as a supernatural birth before they joined to Joseph, Matthew 1:18. All right, so this is Hebrews 2:14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, not mommy and daddy, Christ also himself likewise took part of the same, which is flesh and blood, not mommy and daddy, that through death he might destroy him. So he's delivering them through death, the power of death, that is the devil. So his whole purpose was to come down and destroy the devil. In verse 15, this is Greek, you can't read that, I can't. It says, and deliver them, so he's delivered them, he's saving them, who through the fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage, okay? So now, check this out. It says, for verily, he took not on, see this in italics, this is not in the text at all. So for verily, he took not on angels, but he took on him, or by the way, the word took means help. Okay, so he did not come to help angels. He came to help the seed. That's why it's important to let you guys know that seed means descendants or child, nothing else. Okay, you talking about the seed of man. There's no seed of man. The woman carries the seed in her stomach. The seed is an actual person. It's an infant, it's a fetus. Or if it comes out, it's an actual living, breathing thing. It's a human. Okay, so the seed, the person, the infant, not some DNA. That's why it's important to let you know why I said seed earlier. He came to help. Took on means help in Greek. The Abraham, seed of Abraham. Okay, now keep going. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like his brethren. How's he made like his brethren? Flesh and blood, not mommy and daddy. Okay, it behooved him to be like his brother, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, and make reconciliation for the sins of the people. Look, let's keep going. For in that he himself has suffered being tempted, he is able to succor, this word means help, them that are tempted. Okay, so he came down to help them. He took on flesh and blood, not mommy and daddy. That's why when we get to it, it's going to just point back to just Mary. There's no Joseph. All right, so now Cap said, he said a lot of things, okay? That's why I need 15 minutes. Okay, so I hope my screen's being shared now. he pointed out Philip. Now, me and Cap had this weighing already about Philip. Whatever. All right. So Philip, the Bible says, no man knoweth the Son. So Matthew 11:27 says, all things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father, and save the Son. And he to whomsoever the Son reveals. So Christ will have to reveal himself to Philip at some point for Philip to believe he's the Messiah. Cap, good luck with that. All right, so I'm gonna give a couple of case in points. So we got Matthew 16 and 15. He said unto them, just as Christ saying to his disciples, but whom say that I am? And Simon Peter answered, some say you're the son of Joseph. Some say you're the Christ. I'm skipping down. The Christ, the Son of the living God. And look what Christ said when he called him, when he said some are, Peter said, so he asked Peter, who are people saying I am? They said the prophet, John the Baptist. They said a whole bunch of stuff, right? Joseph, son of Joseph. But when he said that Christ is that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God, look what he said to him. And Jesus answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. Okay, then look at this. It's important. Then charge his disciples that they should tell no man. So this was an ongoing secret on who the Christ actually was. This was not public news, AP yet. Okay, that was an appointed time. Right. So I read kind of fast. Okay, so we're at John 1:34. This is talking about John the Baptist. And I saw and bear record that this is the Son of God. So he bear record. He saw and bear record that Jesus is the Son of God. Now, when you hear people call Jesus Christ the Son of Joseph, these are people who don't believe who Christ is, or it hasn't been revealed to them who Christ is. Let me say it like that better. So it hasn't been revealed to who Christ is. So we got John 1:34. This is John the Baptist bearing record that he is the Son of God. This is John chapter 1, same chapter Captain went to. Cherry picking. So then it says, and then he had two disciples, and they followed Jesus. And then what's their names? Their names are Andrew and Simon's Peter. What are they going to say? They said that they have found the Messiah, not Joseph of Nazareth, which is being interpreted the Christ. Okay, so they bear witness that they found the Christ. That's what's being revealed to them. So when you go to 1 John 1:45, look at this cat. Cat, like cat as far as line, not captain. So Philip found Nathanael and said to him, we have found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets did write. When did they write about Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph? What prophecy is that? Okay, so now look. So this is Philip finding Nathanael. Like, yo, come, yo, check this out. We got him. But look what happens with Nathanael. So now Philip is the guy who just lied and said the prophets wrote about Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. What prophecy is that? Okay, so now let's look at what Nathanael said. So Jesus saw Nathanael, not Philip the liar. Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and said to him, behold, an Israelite indeed, of a man with no cap in his mouth, no guile. This is Nathanael, not Philip. He ignored Philip. So now look what Nathanael confessed to later. So Nathanael has no guile. Okay, look what Nathanael says. Nathanael answered and said to him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God, thou art the King of Israel. No Joseph here, cat. Okay, so this is clearly what we said, that you don't know who Christ is unless he reveals himself to you. So let me just tarry over here to 2 Samuel chapter 7. Because Acts chapter 2, verse 30, it's just a New Testament recall of 2 Samuel chapter 7, the prophecy. All right, so again, the seed just means a child, my boy. So children can be male or female. So when it says a child of David producing the Christ, that does not exclude women. Women are there too. They're also a seed. Okay, seed just means a child either in a woman's womb or out of a descendant, out of the womb. Doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go to 1 Kings. So you can see where I'm at, chapter 8. Look what Solomon said. Solomon says, so he's repeating with 2 Samuel 7, that verse. He says, and the Lord said unto David, my father, where it is in thy heart to build a house. Okay, so he's repeating what was going on in 2 Samuel 7. Nevertheless, thou shalt not build a house, because the Lord said, no, David, it's not for you. But thy son shall come forth out of thy loins. He shall build a house for me. And the Lord has performed his word that he may speak. And I am risen up in the room of my father David. Solomon fulfilled that. And I sit on the throne of Israel as the Lord promised, my boy. Like I said, he got to go to exegesis. He can't read his claims. I'm reading my claims. I'm reading the prophecy of Isaiah chapter 7. And dude, you said it was fulfilled in chapter 8. When does a prophet fulfill his own prophecy? How does Isaiah prophesy something and then go ahead and do it? That's a declaration. That's not a prophecy. If I'm going to go to Wawa and buy my coffee, is that a prophecy? No, I'm going to go do it. So this was something later. And that's why Matthew chapter 1, verse 23 said that Mary fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14. He can't read somebody else fulfilling that. He got to eisegete somebody fulfilling that. He can't read that as I'm reading so plainly that Solomon is the one that fulfilled 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 12. So seed is child, descendant. Okay, so that's back, and a child descendant can be male or female. So Mary is still in the game, my boy. So when you say the man has a seed, what seed are you talking about? Please show me seed means something in context other than descendant or an actual child. Everywhere I read the word seed, as you guys bear witness, it referred to pointing to a descendant, somebody later in the lineage, or a direct child like Solomon. Okay, but seed is constantly normally used as an actual plant or an actual child of people that give birth.
All right. Powerful, powerful second round for my brother Unbiased Sports, Captain Tazariot. Let me know when you're ready, brother. And begin your second round.
Wow, that sounded crazy as the way you said it. Oh, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Your screen is up and running.
All right, you can start my time. Let me tell you how you work this rebuttal. He said he went to my Romans 1 and 3 and went to it in Greek and said, show me which one means sperm. Then said, I don't know Greek, and that word was spermatosis or something like that. So let's see. So this is Romans 1 and 3 right here. Concerning his son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. My position is that word seed is sperma. So let's see. So I'm going to click it in front of y'all. This is Romans 1 and 3. I'm clicking. So what this does is it starts giving you the interlinear breakdown of the words. So as I scroll down here, look at this word seed. Does this not say sperma like I said? It says sperma. Now let's click it. Let's see what it says. Let's click it. It says, which from plant germinates, i.e. the seed grain, the product of this semen, seed, children, offspring. He said that it didn't say sperma like I said. Then he acted like it didn't have the definition like I said. That's a cut, because the scripture clearly said, when we go back, it says, concerning his son Jesus Christ our Lord, which was made of the seed. Now we know that word means sperm. So it says was made of the sperm of David. This debate is over because Joseph is the only one from David. Mary is nothing. In his 30 minutes, where did he show that Mary was from David? Nowhere. Now I'll go back to get back to wait. So now the other scripture I wanted to point out was he brought out Hebrews 2 and 14. So now I'm gonna go to Hebrews 2 and 14. And in Hebrews 2 and 14, I don't know why he read that. Because in Hebrews 2 and 14, it says, for as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same. He took part of the same flesh and blood as the children. Why did he go to this? Why did he read verse 14? So it says, for he took not on the nature of angels. And if you want to get rid of the nature of angels, I'll just read it without the italicized. For verily he took not on angels, but he took on the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like his brethren. Verse 14 of here said, for then as the children are partakers of the same flesh and blood, he also took part of the same flesh and blood. So if he took part of the same flesh and blood, why is he making it seem like Jesus' flesh and blood is different than the children's flesh and blood when they all took the same? Matthew 11:27, he said, this the verse he pulled, all things are delivered unto me of my Father. No man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son he will reveal. Did he not reveal it to Mary and Joseph who he was? So didn't they know that, if we go by his logic, didn't they know that God made Mary pregnant? I'm only going to talk from his position now. His position is God made Mary pregnant. So wouldn't they both know that God made Mary pregnant? Let's read something real fast. Let's go to Luke, the 2nd chapter. Now, remember, I'm going to go into Luke 1. Maybe I should do Luke 1 first. So I'm going to go into Luke 1 and then Matthew 1. But I want to show y'all something. In Luke 2 and 46, I'm sorry, I'm going to start at 2 and 43. And when they have fulfilled the days that they returned, Jesus tarried back in Jerusalem. And Joseph and his mother, they didn't know that he was in Jerusalem. So now they go back looking for him. So now in verse 46, it says, it came to pass after 3 days, they found him in the temple, in the midst of doctors, both hearing them and asking questions. And all that heard him was astonished at his understanding and answers. And they saw him and were amazed. And his mother, this was the mother said, so now I guess the mother about the lie to Jesus. His mother said unto him, son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. Mary ain't talking about God, the Father. Mary talking about Joseph, the Father. And then he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wished ye not that I must be about my Father's business? Next verse. And they understood not the saying that he spake unto them. How could they not understand that? If they know that God made Mary pregnant, the angel is telling Joseph, the angel was telling Joseph that God made Mary pregnant. He gonna be great. He gonna be the son of God. How do they not understand when he's saying about my Father's business when he's in the temple of God? Listen, man, just so everybody can understand having an earthly father and a spiritual father, this is Hebrews 12 and 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. That's Joseph, because you know what Christ did? Subjected themselves unto his parents. He left with them. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father in spirits? He's all of our Father. Now we're going to show in my PowerPoint. I just want to show one correction. In my PowerPoint, I didn't just read verse 12. Like he tried to just highlight verse 12. I went all the way to verse 16 because he shall establish my throne forever. Solomon's throne got broken up. He split the kingdom up. It was not established forever. When Christ established it, it'll be forever. You got to keep reading. Got to get a little smarter with that. So now let's go down to here to Luke. I'm going to do Luke first, and I'm going to come back to Matthew because chronologically, Luke, the story of Luke happens before Matthew. So in Luke 1 and 34, I'm going to start at verse 32. This is 32, Luke 1 and 32, because he keeps harping on Christ being the Son of God. This is the angel talking to Mary. Says, he shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest, which is the Son of God. And the Lord shall give unto him the throne of his father David. So even the angel saying.
Now, so here's the thing. The angel told Mary something different than the angel told Joseph. The angel told them about the pregnancy and the birth. The angel never told them about, well, the angel told Mary that Jesus will rule over the throne his father's David, and he will sit there forever, right? And then Joseph was told that he shall save his people from their sins. That's it. That's generic as hell. But the specifics were never gave to him. When you read Luke 2, when you had Peter, not Peter, Simon. He came there. It was he was prophesied. He was filled with the Holy Spirit, and he prophesied some things that Christ would do, which he said this is one thing that wasn't revealed to Mary and Joseph. That Simon revealed to them on the spot. That Jesus will be a light to the Gentiles, and it said that Mary and Joseph pondered over that. They pondered, like, wow, they didn't know. Okay, so there's a lot of things that were being revealed that they didn't know. Nothing says they knew everything. They didn't. Why would they know everything? It just won't make any sense. If he's the son of the father, how could they ever know what he came to do? They would know in best parts, but even the disciples didn't even know. Like, matter of fact, like, nobody knew except for the angel. But like, these are all extraterrestrial things that actually knew what he came down to do. No, 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 no. You get the fire you want. You ain't playing that bubble gun. A gun that blow bubbles. All right.
He has an earthly father named David. So the only way Christ can be Christ is if he comes from David, which we already established. Romans 1 and 3 is the seed or sperm. That's another body bag. So now, of course, then the angel said, then said Mary unto the angel.
But for Captain to make the argument that they should have known, then the burden is on him to prove that they should have known. Like, what text did he read that said that Mary and Joseph should know that Jesus Christ's ministry, his walk? I mean, the simple fact that in the same chapter, Luke chapter 2, when they were coming back from the feast, right? They was trying to tarry somewhere else, and that's why he dipped off and went into the church. He said, "Don't you know about my father's business?" So I mean, that's like the proof right there that they did not know a lot of his ministry, because they would have known. Because Jesus' response to them was, "You didn't know what I was came to do. You ain't know I'm not an ordinary child. Like, I have a real mission while I'm down here." Like, that was his response to them. You don't know I'm about my father's business. Like, yo, yeah, I think I'm just a regular 12-year-old. Like, yo, what's up? Respect me. Respect me. Don't treat me like a little kid.
How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? Because at this time, she had not known a man. The angel was telling her what's going to happen. The proof of that in the same chapter, in the.
And also, Captain's getting caught up in his word father. That's another key point I really didn't get to touch on, again, because of the style of the debate. I couldn't get a touch on, but just because you're a father and a mother and a brother and a sister, that doesn't mean that you're actually a father, mother, brother, and sister. The Bible used those terms very, very loosely. Okay, so that's another thing I didn't get to hit on because of the format and the style of the debate, which I don't like. But looking back, like, I'll make sure on a big stage, I'll make sure, listen, we got to handle this a better way. It can't be some small 15-minute, 10-minute. And even I was watching the debate today with Reverend Charles and Elder Yara. Even like, they weren't even debating, and out there, and theirs were longer than me and Captain's. I'm like, yo, I like their style.
Same chapter. I'm gonna drop down. Let me see if I have it in this slide. I'm sorry, apologize. In the same chapter, Luke 1 and 45, it says, "And blessed is she that believed, for there shall be a performance of those things that was told her." Very, very, very simple. It hadn't happened yet. Now I'm gonna go back up to my slide so y'all can understand. So when it says, I'm sorry, so verse 35 says, "The Holy Spirit shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that holy thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of God." When it says the Holy Spirit shall come upon thee, that means you're going to do what the Lord wanted you to do.
Did you hear this guy explanation of the overshadowing of the Holy Spirit? Is that you're gonna do what the Most High wants you to do. What?
And the Lord wanted Mary and Joseph to have this son.
So the Lord wanted them to sexually have this son, Captain. Why they just couldn't sexually have it then? And why would the wait a minute. If they're married, what was stopping them from having his son? I mean, Captain just cut himself. The only thing stopped, according to the Bible, the only thing stopped people from having kids is the Lord himself. Every womb that was closed, every woman that was barren, it was the Most High that did that. So if the Most High wanted them to have this son, he wouldn't have made Mary barren. And guess what? She wasn't barren. So there was nothing stopping her from having this son. They didn't need reassurance. Again, this is like just idiot logic.
Because this son is prophesied to come. When it says overshadow, it's what every pregnant woman wants, and they wants the Lord's protection while they having a child. While they having a child. I have to give scripture. Romans 9:19. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? That's
What does that got to do with what he just read? Like, what do you mean every woman wants protection? Dude, every married couple believe they're having a kid unless the Most High steps in and prevents that. What is this one West doctrine?
his spirit. The overshadow. How excellent is thy loving. This is Psalms 36:7. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O God. Therefore, the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. Now, is Jesus the only one born of the Holy Spirit? No. Let me see if I got this in my next slide. This is Luke 1:18. And Zechariah said unto the angel, whereby shall I know this? For I am an old man. Wait, I don't think that's it. Let me see if I get the no, because I just added that on the fly. I want Luke. Let me go to my eastward. Let me go right here. So we're gonna go to Luke 1. This is why you share the window. I had to teach unbiased how to even debate me. I had to show him how to do this. So now in Luke 1:15, it says, for he shall be great in the sight of the Lord, and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink, and shall be filled with the Holy Spirit, even from his mother's womb. So even John had the Holy Spirit. Christ, born of the Holy Spirit. Same exact energy. Let's get another point of the word virgin. This is Luke 2:36. Just to show you, a virgin, a child, when a daughter is born, she's not a virgin. She's not. A virgin is something that you become. I'm gonna give you the point. This is Luke 2:36. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of great age and had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity. So now what that means is, let's say if she got her flower, or
Now, oh, no, I'll let him go. I'll let him go.
what we today call a cycle or a period at age 13, she got.
Okay, so Captain botched this completely. Listen to what it's saying. It says, and there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of great age. Look at he highlights the wrong thing. The emphasis is she was of great age. That means she's old as hell. It says great age. She's old as hell and had lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity. I don't know what's going on here with Captain. Now, this is a passage he completely did not understand. This is just telling you that after she had sex, she was only married for 7 years. Okay, so they were married, they had sex, and she was not a virgin for 7 years, and he died. Okay, so she's 84 years old now. She was a widow of about 4 years. That's 84 years. So that's let you know that she was a widow for a very, very long time. She did not choose to remarry or have sex again. Like, she dedicated herself to the Most High. That's all this is saying. This has nothing to do with she was 80 years old when when she got married and had sex for the first time. But this is his wicked way of understanding it. And he can't go to like no scholars. So like they pick and choose when they lean on scholars' interpretation for help. When he came to this weird conclusion he had here, why didn't he go to the scholars and see what they said? I'm sure he did. And he didn't like what they said. So he said, listen, I'm gonna drop that and I'm gonna stick to what I think is on this, and I'm gonna hold it higher than the scholars. But then he'll go to somewhere else and he'll hold the scholars' opinion over his op. So it's like, dude, can you at least be consistent with the scholars? Are you gonna appeal to them or you're not?
Married to a husband 7 years from that, because when you are able to have children, that's when you're considered a virgin or a young woman, because you have your flower. That's what the text says, 7 years from your virginity. So to even be from your virginity, unless he's gonna say she got married at 7 years old, you got to make that make sense too. So now I did that.
Again, it says seven. Why would she be 7 years old? It says 7 years from her virginity. That means she was seven. I mean, that means she was a virgin. And 7 years later, husband is dead. So she didn't spend a long time being married, just 7 years. And she's old. She's of a woman of great age. I was gonna say something else. Damn, what I was gonna say. I might have to rewind a little bit of this back. I was gonna say something else on this. Okay, let me rewind back. So we're at 46, 49. Let me go back to 45. All right, about right here should be good.
That's what the text says, 7 years from your virginity. So to even be from your virginity, unless he's gonna say she got married at 7 years old, you got to make that make sense too. So now I did that. So,
Yeah, he clearly botched that. But this is why he likes to read off all the listen what he likes to do. He likes to read off all of these passages unchallenged. And you see how each one, if I go over it, it takes about 2 minutes. How's that possible with only 10 minutes in a round or 15 minutes? If it takes me 2 minutes to re-explain, to recorrect something he misrepresented, if it takes minimum 2 minutes, how is it possible to rebut more than 7 things he said per round? And if I waste time rebutting him, which he will love, when do I ever have time to give you my position? If I'm busy rebutting him, when do you guys ever hear my position? This is why I don't like these style debates right here. I don't like it. Let's do it more naturally, more organically, like how we were doing before. Sarnetta and Captain's Carson Line Radio. We were just talking, and it didn't go well for Captain because I was able to address everything he said on the fly. And I guarantee you, it was Captain who said do this style debate. I guarantee you, this was his idea because he just wants to spit out verses.
now let's go to Matthew. Now here's what's important. When he was doing that lineage, it says this is the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Now it's saying,
Now, when he went to Matthews, I think this is where he like really gave me the lead. It was like, dude, like you're doing good lying. You're doing good lying and twisting scriptures, but you brought it back to your grave site. On this topic, this is all their grave site right here, Matthews 1. So when he did this, my eyes just lit up like, oh my God, I can't wait till I get back out there.
Jesus got two fathers, David and Abraham. When we go down to verse 16, it says, and Jacob begat Joseph.
So making Joseph his father ain't enough for Captain. He want Jesus to have two more fathers, David and Abraham. Don't, Captain. Don't, man. You just be capping.
The husband of Mary. This is Joseph's lineage. This is not Mary's lineage. And in this same prominent.
Now you heard that straw man? He said, this is Joseph lineage. this isn't Mary's lineage. Who argued anything about this being Mary's lineage?
Lineage or this prominent chapter, you see other women
But by stating it like that, it can almost make a fool believe that I believe this is Mary's lineage.
mentioned. Ruth is mentioned, Tamar is mentioned, and I think Rechab is mentioned. So you have 4 women, I believe, in total mentioned. But this is this is Joseph's
Yeah, okay,
lineage.
that's a good
Now,
point. Lovejoy. So he doesn't even understand what on their flower is, the flower of the age. Anybody can just Google that terminology. It just means the woman at her peak. Like she's she's at the best performance of her life. Like she's in her like her best age, her best you know what I mean? She's like I guess like 23 years old, something like that.
verse 18. Now the birth of Christ was on this wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused.
23 years old in our time. So in our time, a woman is like at her peak at like 22. Like you could say, like you just look at these, you know, IG models. They're like anywhere from 20 to 25. And any IG models, it's like 29 and older. Like they're not going to get that much attention as somebody 20 and 25 that looks exactly like them.
Joseph before they came together. I'm gonna jump and show. I'm gonna stay in the same chapter. Before they came together, and it says knew her not. Now we know knew her not is usually what it means when it's talking about sex. So what does the before they came together mean? You see where it starts here? It says when as Mary was espoused to Joseph. So the before they came together.
Like I said, under those circumstances I named, I still won. So I'm not like pouting. But if I was in my bag, which I was expecting to be in, I was expecting to like. I mean, Sanetti got to take a little blame. He did call me on the fly to remind me of a debate that's happening now. Okay, if you're gonna call me, Si, at least 2 hours, you know, so you won't have a no show, right? Let me know at least 5 p. Having a pop. Somebody called me like, "Hey, you're debating captain. Be ready." And I could have been. I mean, I would have been nowhere. I would have been at my computer, notes rehearsed, looking like Jada Kiss and Styles P during that verses. You dig? Um, so that's another reason why. But a lot of what he's saying, with a more prepared person. So if you came in late, you missed what happened that led to this debate. So I was under the understanding that this debate was going to happen the next Friday. Now that could have been my mistake. So I'm not blaming nobody. That's probably my fault. I'm only saying Sonetta called me at like 8 o'clock saying I'm ready. It's like, dude, if you want a successful event, you should have hollered at me a little earlier. Just to, you know what I mean? Because all you gotta do is holler at me earlier. It could be 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., anytime before the event. I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be locked in. You don't want to call me when it's supposed to start or about 10 minutes before it starts. That's when I'm gonna be in panic mode. Because I like to be mentally prepared. I like to mentally prepare myself. Mentally is like the most important thing. That's over physically.
It's talking about before they became together as husband and wife officially after the engagement was over, she was found with child of the Holy Spirit. Let's keep reading. Then Joseph, her husband, now the language is changing. Now it switches from espoused to husband, being a just man and not willing to make her public example. And here's the weird part when people break this part down. If Joseph is a just man, this woman is an adulterer if we go by their logic. And as an adulterer, he wouldn't want to do nothing private. He would want to do
So
it
you see what he
publicly.
does.
But if he's
It's just a bad debater. Like it makes you just a dishonest, deceptive, disingenuous debater. If you go by their logic, dude, you don't even know my logic on that. Like you're assuming my position and then arguing against it. I don't have that position, but I guarantee you that he's too intimidated to find out my position. He understands that I have what he would call an unorthodox Christian perspective on the virgin birth. He found out when he first called in Sinetta, and I was there. He found out. Then he found out more when I called in Crossline Radio, and he really found out during this debate. Like, I don't have an orthodox Christian position on the virgin birth. Mine is more biblical, according to the text.
The one that got her pregnant and don't want the father to know that I got her pregnant before the ceremony, he might think twice about doing that. Let me see if I got this one here. And now here's a scripture for that. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 42:9. It says, the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep when she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age, and being married, lest she should be hated. In her virginity, lest she should be defiled and gotten with child in her father's house. So
he takes this, they all do, also One West people, they take this and they spin it. When it says the father waketh for the daughter, let's go to verse 10. When it says in her virginity, it says, comma, lest she should be defiled. Okay, that's an action. And then it says, and gotten with child. Okay, so if Unbiased has a gun and a bat, I have both. I don't have one. So if it says in her virginity, lest she should be defiled, that means she's defiled already. Then it says, and gotten with child in her father's house. So Captain will make you believe she was defiled by getting with child in the father's house when you clearly can see from your own eyes that she's already defiled. And then afterwards, she got with child in her father's house. So how does a woman become defiled? That's the question I would have for Captain. He may know, he may not know, but it has nothing to do with being pregnant in your father's home. Okay? There's some horrendous acts that happens to a woman that cause her to be defiled, and she wish it would be just becoming pregnant in her father's house. That's not so in the Bible. They go through some real hard grape.
the just and privately was because they weren't officially husband and wife, and he got her pregnant while they was still in the engagement, aka in her father's house.
So you heard his spin? I mean, again, you don't know if they just that retarded or that deceptive, that diabolical. You don't know. It's kind of like 50-50.
Body bag. I have to answer that scripture. So now when we go back,
I have to answer that scripture. He acts like he's gonna say, okay, let me give Unbiased 1 minute of my time to answer that scripture. Like he says that, but then he'll go like, how many passages he read already that I got to answer? And then, Cat, when do I present my own argument? Dude, you keep reading passages over and over and over, and then saying I got to answer them, but you never say, "Side, can you give this guy more time to answer this?" Because I know he can't. Let's let him make a fool of himself. Nah, he'll say, "This is for the voters." He's saying that for the voters. You got to answer that. Voters, document that. That's not for me. That's for the voters. He's trying to educate them. This is what he got to answer.
when it says, but while he thought on these things, now remember, we talking about prophecy. Behold, the angel of
Now notice that he's staying away from Matthew 1:16.
the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David. What did the angel say in Luke 1 and 34 and 32? He said he gonna sit on the throne of his father David. This debate is does he come through Joseph or Mary? My position said both Joseph and Mary. His position is not through Joseph, but clearly If the only way he can sit on the throne of his father David is if he comes from Joseph, because Joseph is the only one that's connected to David. And then it says, fear not to take Mary thy wife, not Mary for a wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Spirit. Now I'm going to jump back to Luke. So now let's see when the angel said to Mary. So in Luke 1:35, when he says that holy thing shall be called the Son of God, that same angel also said he's sitting on the throne of his father David. Now let's look at verse 36. And then it says, and behold, thy cousin Elizabeth hath also conceived. So
I was so happy when I heard 1 minute, like, God damn, thank you. Look how many passages he went over. Anna the prophetess, Luke this, Matthew that. He went over so many Bible verses that he's telling me I got to answer in 10 minutes.
the same way Elizabeth conceived is the same way.
And I just thought about something. If I went first, why would I need to respond to you? I'm the one that went first. You're responding to me. That's the advantage of going first. That's like chess teach you that. White goes first and black responds. So that's another like brain FUCK he's trying to do to the voters. I went first. He's going after me, but he's telling me I got to respond to him when he's supposed to be responding to me.
Mary's going to conceive. Zacharias and Elizabeth had to have sex. There ain't no verse that said they had sex though. Now, here's what I mean.
Brother, the fact that Elizabeth is called barren, that's enough circumstantial information for us to know that she was having sex. How else would she know she's barren? So again, this is just stupid One West logic that he's allowed to get away with.
That when you read Luke, it never shows a verse that Zacharias and Elizabeth had sex. Why am I saying that? Because in the Q&A, he's going to ask me to show where Joseph and Mary had to have sex. There is.
You hear him? He said in the Q&A, you hear this guy? Straw man again. He said in the Q&A, he's going to ask. I never asked that. But again, he's trying to stage my position. So look, it doesn't say Joseph, it doesn't say Zacharias and Mary and Elizabeth had sex. Don't need to. We know she has sex because she's barren. And she wouldn't know that without having sex. We know Mary never had sex. Mary actually said it. Mary actually said, I'm a virgin. We don't hear that from Elizabeth. We don't hear that from Sarah. And they keep going. We don't hear that from them. So we know they didn't have virgin birth. Okay, Captain? They never said, I never had sex. So therefore, we can speculate. But with Mary, we know she didn't have sex, Captain. So going off that logic, hey, we didn't read it. Hey, man, we can't say they did. Can't say they didn't. Well, Captain, we know for a fact Mary did not have sex, and she's pregnant, bro. Explain that.
No scripture that said that has to show that any man or woman had to have sex for a prophecy to be fulfilled. In that same chapter, Zacharias and Elizabeth, it never shows them having sex. Let me show you another one that never shows them having sex. Let's go to another one. This is in Genesis 18. It says, and he said, I will certainly return. This is Abraham and Sarah. When the angel visits Sarah, it says, and he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah, thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. And Sarah laughed, said, you mean after I am waxed old, I shall have pleasure? My Lord being.
Okay, so he's wasting time again. Brother, show me where Sarah said, I never had sex. She didn't say that. Okay. And we can read in, I think Hebrews, late Hebrews, we can read that the confirmation that Abraham and Sarah had sex. So it's really goofy, but she's barren, bro. Okay, she's barren. And she knows she's barren. That means that's circumstantial evidence to suggest she had sex. But yeah, listen, Cat, you can say, hey, it never said they had sex. Then guess what? It never said they had sex. Then you can't say they had sex then. So the same way I couldn't make the claim they didn't have sex, the same way you couldn't make this claim they did have sex. Because like you said, it didn't say they had sex. So Captain, what are you saying? Are you saying only you can use your imagination, speculation? Because we going by your information and your evidence. If it didn't say it, it didn't say it. So that means we can't say something that wasn't said. So how does that dispel Mary for being a virgin, a woman without sex? Because for her, there's no confusion. She said, "I never had sex. I don't know a man," which translates, "I never had sex." So even that, even his argument with Elizabeth and Sarah, hey, it didn't say they had sex. Fine, let's go with that. If it didn't say they didn't have sex, then it didn't say they did have sex. So therefore, we don't know. But Mary, we know. So let's stick with what we know. No, let's not speculate on nobody. So let's go back to Mary, who's the subject of the debate, and let's determine if she has sex because she said she didn't. So now you got to show where she did. We ain't got to show where Sarah has sex. We don't got to show where Elizabeth has sex. We got to show where Mary has sex, Captain. That's again, Captain trying to manipulate the narrative because he cannot win this type of subject. This topic he cannot win.
Old also. So now she knew how a baby was made. Now, there ain't.
All right. That's the end of them 2 rounds there, brother. We are moving into the question and answer period. All right. Let me.
Yeah. So Sarnetta really didn't understand like the tension behind this debate, like how Sarnetta really doesn't understand how important this debate is for people who are messianic. He doesn't understand like how powerful the debate is. If he did, he would have never said two rounds. Like he don't understand like one West doctrine rides on this, and also the entirety of Christianity rides on this. This is not a 2-round debate. But Sarnetta is not like a Bible guy, so he don't know. In fairness, he wouldn't know. But somebody like that was a moderator from a One West perspective or even a Christianity perspective would have known this takes more than 2 rounds. That is common sense with them, with people who have a religious like background, a religious understanding. They know this is more than 2 rounds. You could be from One West or Christianity, or even Judaism, Tanakh only. You know that this is more than 2 rounds. Okay, that just common knowledge when you're in that circle.
See what this title look like. I got a poll up right now. They got unbiased 47%, Captain to Zoriak 53%.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that in the title. We're at the 52-minute mark, I think. Yeah, and you heard Sarnetta. He said, "I got 47%, and Captain got 53%." This is when I knew I was gonna win. I'm like, wow, is that close? And I didn't even touch on Matthew's 1:16. You know, if he had said we got Captain at 66%, unbiased at 34%, then in my mind, I would have been like, yo, the best I can do is maybe get a draw. I wouldn't believe I could have won with a stretch like that. I don't believe Matthew 1:16 to give me that much points, not from this type of crowd that don't really know the Bible. And some of them actually hate both positions. They don't. Okay, so She said, "When you think leaders of One West would change their doctrine?" Yeah, well, Lovejoy, some are definitely changing their doctrine. So these debates that I have with them and other folks have with them, challenging them, yes, a lot of the leaders have been adjusting their in the smaller camps. They're not the major camps, but the major camps probably won't ever adjust. They'll just drop the New Testament altogether. But these smaller camps are adjusting. They are adjusting.
This is where y'all pick up some percentage in the question and answer round. Unbiased. Do you have any question for the captain? And I'm not going to put a time on y'all right now. I'm going to just let y'all go ahead and talk.
All right, so this is when it got ugly for the
You
captain.
can ask captain a question, and then captain come back and he can ask you. So y'all go back and forth.
So let me share my screen first. So hold on, Cat.
Go ahead, brother.
Share my screen. So now you right, Cat. You definitely teach me how to use StreamYard. I'm a Zoom guy. All right. So let me just share my screen. Share window. Okay. So Cat. Hey, Shot, is it showing the Romans 1?
Yes, I got it. Romans 1:3.
Okay, so Cat, brother, in the Greek, do you see the word sperma here, brother? Yes or no?
I don't read Greek, so I don't know which
Okay.
one of those words.
Let me
If I
help you
had to
out.
take a guess,
Okay, so
guess,
wait.
yeah,
No. Okay, I'm gonna go down. So you looked at this, right?
yeah, that's what they put in there.
Hey, I
So
got
you,
it. But wait. Hey,
mhm.
Cat, this is the root. This is called inflected, my boy. So which one you think is in the verse? Is it the root or the inflected word? Which one?
What we could just, all you got to do is just, can you just click on the actual
No.
etymology of the word?
Look, I'm gonna go up to the top. Look, okay. So these are the words. You got an A right here. You got an S right here.
Right.
So remember, it's question and answer. I'm the guy asking the question. I'm asking specific questions. Right now, I don't care about the definition. I'm asking him which word do you see in the passage? Do you see sperma, like the word you kept saying over and over and over? Or do you see the word I said was there that I kept saying over and over? Do you see sperma in the passage or spermatos? I did not ask for a definition, and he knew he was messed up, so he's asking for a definition. But yo, we'll get there. But I want you to concede to what word is in the passage. This is why I wouldn't let go. Like, no. That debate is close. So I can't be nice, and I'm losing. So I can't be nice anymore. Dude, now I got the gloves off. Let's go. Tank Davis is on the microphone now.
Go to the actual scripture, brother.
Right.
Right here. So which one do you see? The one I said or you said?
What I see is the one that you said.
Okay.
But now, can we click on the word?
I will. I'm gonna help you out though, Cat.
Oh,
So
no sweat. No.
So y'all know I'm gonna make short videos of this. It's when you said, I'm gonna make short videos of this debate. It's gonna be fun, especially when he said C was a child, and then he said C was sperm. Oh yeah, then the C was her child, and then she didn't have a child. Oh, I'm gonna do all that. This guy like the crazy.
Okay, so Captain, the way it works is in the Greek and Hebrew, when you click on a word, it's gonna always go to the root word, my boy. It won't go to the inflected word, but we can see the inflected word is in the text receptor, not the root word. So inflection means things that's adding on to the word. So sperma, like I said, because I can read Greek, is not in the passage. It's actually sperma.
You click on the word.
Okay, right here.
Can we look at
right here?
It's a no. Don't cheat the people now.
Okay,
click on where we can read the outline of biblical usage.
Look, hey, Captain, you're not listening.
I'm listening to everything you say.
Okay.
If you wanted to be
wait,
that top word,
so hold on. If you're listening, what I'm saying is that people have eyes. They can see the word spermatos right here in the text receptors. What I'm saying to you is that when you go to the Hebrew or Greek, it's going to always show the root word. It will never show the inflected word. But the root word is not necessarily in the passage itself. So we're looking at the passage. This is Romans 1:3, Petty, 2, son, Altu, 2, Genomenu, Ek, spermatas David, Kata, Sarka. Okay? So what I said was actually correct. The word sperma is not in the Greek at all, my boy. That's the root word. The word
Okay,
spermatas is there. And
do I get to
spermatas,
respond now?
go ahead.
Now, here's your problem.
Okay,
He
show
won't
me.
click on. So can I share my?
So he purposely ignored everything I was saying, right? To get to click on it. And then he's going to show his ignorance in the definition as well. It's like, dude, there's two arguments here. You're telling us the word seed in Greek is sperma. That's your argument. I'm saying you're wrong. I just proved you were wrong. You even said it says spermatized, and you're acting like this was not your argument. Now you're acting like your argument was the definition. We can go there too. So we're going to go there right now. I'm going to show you wrong in the definition as well.
Can you share? Can you stop and then I can share?
Yeah, me stop.
Because I want to show. I want to show what you not. I want to show what you're not doing.
Good.
Right. Now he's focused on spermatize and stuff
Right.
like that. So I went to the same blue letter Bible that he went through,
Yep.
so nobody could say I was using something different. Romans 1:3 says, concerning his son Jesus Christ our Lord, which was made of the seed of David according to the flesh. So now we have two principal words in here to let us know how Christ was made. You got the word seed,
Spermatized.
three words rather. You got seed, you got David, and you got flesh.
Right.
His argument is that because I said sperma, which is the root, you want to go with that? That's fine. I ain't got no problem. But when you click on the definition of that word, you got seed, i.e. the grain or kernel which contain within itself the germ of future plants. We know it's not talking about plants.
No,
seed,
sir.
i.e. residue or few survivors reserved as the germ. We know it's not talking about that. Then we got semen viral, the product of this semen, seed, children, offspring, progeny.
It agrees with me.
I'm going to read it again. The product of this
The
semen.
product. You know what product means, bro? The
Child.
cake is a product of eggs, oil, and batter. The baking powder.
So you can't remove the ingredients out of what you do to make the cake. So to make a child, you can't remove the seed or where the seed. Listen, the only way semen, it says product of this semen.
Right.
Don't just say product.
No. Hey, Cat, look. We're defining the word seed. It says seed is the product. So we got children, offspring, progeny. So when you look at the word seed, it's going to be
why you skip semen?
No. Because
we got product of this semen.
Right. Hey, Cat,
semen listen. Is sperm, right? Yes or no?
Of course. Cat, listen.
Okay, so if
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The product. So that means it's not semen. It's the product of semen, right? You got that? So we're dealing with the offspring, the progeny of children. So we're dealing with a virgin birth, and you say the word seed.
So you saying that you saying that seed is not talking about seed. Excuse me, that semen is not talking about seed, children, offspring, progeny, family, tribe, posterity. It's not talking about that.
What I'm telling you is that the word spermatized, it
no,
goes to
once
children,
again,
offspring, progeny. It has nothing to do with semen.
Why? Okay, the only that we just agreed that A and B do not match that definition. So now we're at the second part of the definition.
Right.
It starts off the product of this semen. So now the product of this semen is seed, children, offspring, progeny, family, tribe, posterity. That's the product of semen. When you put semen in a woman, you get seed, children, offspring.
The argument is when you're looking at spermatized, what is it Uh,
That's not my argument.
no.
That's not my.
That's my argument. My argument is because we're looking at the text of receptors. When you see the word spermatized, it's not pointing to. It's not saying David's sperm. It's saying David offspring, progeny, children. That's my argument, my boy. I'm not. So the word sperm.
Thank you. Wait. You still saying David offspring children? So you
Right,
still saying it has to be of David, right?
right. So I'm saying,
Okay,
bro,
no problem. So
got
does it have it has to be of David
yes,
according to the flesh?
yes.
Okay, so thank you. So you just made my point because when you go to flesh, which is the other word
That's my
there,
point.
it said it says flesh of the living body, which covers the bones, the body of a man, which
Right.
goes right back to the subject of this debate. Is the prophecy through Joseph and Mary? You eliminate Joseph.
No. You're
Show me
right,
where.
right. I
Right. So
got it.
show me, no problem. So
I got it.
show me,
Got it.
show me. Let me stop sharing my screen. I
Yes,
apologize.
yes, sir. Thank you.
So
Thank
show me. So now we know that the angel said Joseph is from the house of David.
you.
So we just read Romans 1 and 3, which you agreed that it has to be the son of David
Sure,
according
sure,
to the flesh.
sure.
Show me Mary is from the house of David.
Got you. Let me share my screen. Got you. Okay. So we're gonna go to the oldest translation of the Bible. This is the Syriac Sinaiticus. Okay. This is the Gospel of Luke, chapter 1. Right. So let's go down. Let's go down to verse. Matter of fact, we're already here. Verse here. It says, verse 2. This is the Syriac. Right. It says a translation of the four Gospels from the Syriac Sinaiticus. This is the oldest translation of the Bible. The oldest. Nothing comes before this. Okay. Verse 2. And it says, and it came to pass in those days, Augustus, Caesar commanded that all
So now,
lands should be enrolled. And this was the first enrollment.
now notice that I'm reading and my screen isn't sharing. Nobody tells me until I read damn near all of it. Oh boy.
Governor Syria, and every man also from went that he might be enrolled there. And Joseph also, Joseph from Nazareth, a city of Galilee, to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem. He and Mary is his wife, being great with child, that there they might be enrolled, because they were both of the house of David. That's a body bag.
That's not a body bag.
That's a body bag.
Because, can you produce the source text for what you just brought out?
I just told you this. Okay, let me go back to my screen again.
No, we don't. If you were sharing your screen, we didn't see your screen.
Okay, but I did the window thing. All right. So, Si, can you see my screen?
No, we can't see it yet. We can't see it at all.
Can you see my
Oh,
screen?
now we see it.
Okay.
And when did this come out?
Okay.
Syriac
This is
of the
late.
Sinai.
This is mid fourth century. Mid fourth century. This is the first translated Bible outside of the Greek. Okay, and you see right here.
You see how you just switched up. Now it's the first translated outside of the Greek.
Right.
You can't say it. You just switched up.
No.
Because we know that when the first century was over, the Bible was translated in the Greek already. Now
no,
you're saying
no,
that this is
Cap.
No
the
problem.
Bible,
No
the New
problem.
Testament is originally in the Greek, my boy. What are you talking
Right,
about?
that's what I'm saying. And it was translated in the first century. You said that this
No.
Syriac Sinaiticus.
No. It was what are we talking about here? If the Bible is originally written in Greek, wait, hold on, Captain, hold on. If the Bible is originally written in Greek, that means it's not translated. That's the language it's in.
Right. So right.
Okay. So wait. I'm making my point. My point is, when it was translated out from the Greek, it went to the Syriac. That's the first translation of the Greek.
Gotcha.
So we're looking at the Syriac Sinaiticus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're looking at where it says that they both, because they were both of the house of David.
Okay. And that's your cut, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to respond. So I'm going to share my screen.
Go ahead.
I'm going to share my screen, right? Let me select the window. No, entire screen. I'm going to share. Let me make sure I share the right screen. It's this one. You don't see nothing on there yet. Just let me bring this over. Hold on a second. I'm going to show what I'm using as my proof text. I'm using two proof texts from the early church fathers.
Oh, you saved
Julius
Oh, I'm
Afri-
gonna go there too. Cause you saved say the same thing. Oh my God.
I'm using my two proof texts from the
He
church fathers. The church father is going to be Julius Africanus. Eusebius is going to back up. What'd you say?
Eusebius, right? Go ahead.
And Eusebius is going to back up what Julius Africanus.
So I want y'all to catch. I want y'all to catch that he's going to the church fathers. He said to respond to what I read about Mary being from Judah, according to the English translation of the Syriac, Sinaiticus. So he's reading. Keep in mind what he just said. I'm going to rewind it. He's reading this to address what I just read. He just asked me, "Was that my cut?" I said, "Yes." It's just a body bag. So now he's going to read Julianus. He's going to read Eusebius. He's going to read Eusebius to respond to what I just read about Mary being from Judah. But he did not do that. So he's going to read, he's going to take 10 minutes to read about Eusebius' writings about him saying Joseph is the adopted son of Eli. What did that have to do with me proving that Mary's from Judah? Okay. So then when I don't respond to what he's going to read right now, he acted like I was supposed to. It's like, dude, you said you were reading this to respond to me. So now I'm gonna rewind it back a little bit. When I got, I'm gonna rewind this back to me finishing up on Mary's from Judah. Okay, he's gonna say, okay, I like to respond. So that means that he's gonna read something to debunk what I read, but he didn't. He proposed a whole different argument. He ignored everything I just read. He proposed a separate argument and he wanted me to respond to it. And I'm like, for what? First of all, I don't even necessarily disagree with what you just read. So you're trying to give me a position that I don't hold. And he was totally confused. I'm gonna rewind a little bit, but keep in mind what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, he asked me to prove where Mary was from David through Judah. I did that. He asked, "Is that my cut?" I said, "Yes, it's a body bag." He said it wasn't a body bag. And then he said, "I like to respond." Then he read something that had nothing to do with Mary being from Judah. And then he was mad that I didn't respond to that, as though I had to disagree. Like this, he should first ask me, do I disagree? Okay, so I'm gonna rewind just a little bit so you guys can catch that. This guy is terrible.
Translation of the Greek.
Gotcha.
So we're looking at the Syriac Sinaiticus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're looking.
A second. I'm going to show what I'm using as my proof text. I'm using two proof texts from the.
When it was translated out from the Greek, it went to the Syriac. That's the first translation of the Greek.
Gotcha.
So we're looking at the Syriac Sinaiticus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're looking at where it says that they both, because they were both of the house of David.
Okay. And that's your cut, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to respond. So I'm going to share my screen.
Good.
Now, did you guys hear that he's going to respond? And then he did this fake laugh to like soothe the people, to make them somehow believe what I read. I didn't read. And you just heard from his words. He said, I would like to respond. Now, I'm going to save you out of time. I'm going to play it, but I'm going to save you out of time. What he's reading right now had nothing to do with Mary being from Judah. He's going to read how somehow Joseph lineage is in Luke 3 and Matthew's 1, which I said during the read, like, I don't even disagree. Like, so why are you just reading it? You're wasting 10 minutes of an actual back and forth we could be having. But just keep in mind, he said I would like to respond, and he's not going to respond to anything I said at this moment. Now, during his closeout argument, where he's supposed to close out to what was already said, he's going to rebut, which is unheard of. He's going to rebut what I read just now in his closeout argument. But what he's about to read now is not his rebuttal. This is another argument sidestepping what I just read. Okay. And this is the nervous laugh that he does. I'm starting to understand his pattern. When you see him laughing, that he's probably losing. He's probably losing or uncomfortable in his position because he did not respond. Watch this.
I was saying my screen, right? Let me select the window. No, entire screen. I'm gonna share. Let me make sure I share the right screen. It's this one. You don't see nothing on there yet. Just let me bring this over. Hold on a second.
Yeah, exactly, Blue Devil. He doesn't know a lot of these Sakari, not Sakari, but a lot of the One West Israelites, they don't know what's actually in Greek and what's not. Like I've made a lot of short videos, like it's laughing at them, teasing them. They really don't know, and a lot of them falsely believe that Greek is a translation, and that's what he said at first. Like, dude, where did you get that from? Like, where's that idea come out from your crazy head? Because they're Hebrew Israelites, they believe all of the ancient writings were originally written in Hebrew at first. It's like, nah, that sounds good in a fairy tale book, but what's true is the Old Testament could be written in Hebrew, but the New Testament is definitely Greek. All right, unless you could find something older than the Codex Vaticanus, uh, Vaticanus. I keep saying Vaticanus. I, I keep saying Vaticanus is Vaticanus, the Codex Vaticanus, and the Codex. What's the other one? That's a little after that one, but around the same time. Unless you can find something older than that in Hebrew, you got to bow down.
I'm going to show what I'm using as my proof text. I'm using two proof texts from the early church fathers.
Oh, you say
Julius
I'm
Afric.
gonna go there too. Cause you say the same thing. Oh my God.
I'm using my two proof texts from the church
Right.
fathers. The church father is going to be Julius Africanus. Eusebius is going to back up. What'd you say?
Eusebius, right? Go ahead.
And Eusebius is going to back up what Julius Africanus brings out. What Julius Africanus wrote was the epistle to the Aristides, the epistle.
Watch how long this read is, and this has. Keep in mind, this don't get dispelled. This has nothing to do with Mary's not being from Judah. You think he's reading this to respond or rebut what I just read? Nothing about this is going to respond to what I said. I was confused. Now I'm going to be confused. I ain't gonna lie. Now I'm going to be confused, and you'll hear it.
To the Aristides, right? So now, let's see, because again, both of those lineages in it's a quick yes or no before I read this. In both lineages that they attribute to Jesus Christ, who is the father? I mean, excuse me, who does it start off with? Does it start with, well, Matthew ends with Joseph, and then Luke begins with Joseph. We agree or disagree?
We agree.
We agree, right? There's no mention of Mary, right?
Not in Luke, but Matthew, yes.
Well, as the wife, like other women are mentioned in Matthew's the first chapter. But as far as those lineages, both of them are Joseph's. So now let's see what the church fathers did, because it's weird.
You asked me a question. I gotta object.
I'll let you answer. No, go ahead.
No. But you asked me a question, but you asked me. I gave an answer. You overread it. So what I'm saying is, in Luke, you will be correct. Mary's name not there, but in Matthew, Mary is listed as the mother of Jesus.
The mother of Jesus. But the lineages are Joseph's.
Yeah, but Matthew deals with generations. Wait, Captain.
I don't disagree with the generations.
Wait. So you got to let me respond correctly. So Matthew don't deal with a lineage. It talks about 42 generations, and Mary is listed as a generational.
This totally lost him. That's why I would like a more back and forth. I don't like this style debate. Like I it's like I'm appreciative for the opportunity and my opponent I'm debating, but this is not what I like. I don't like this because it like the people who are watching this are not being educated for real. They are being entertained, but they're not really being educated.
Parent of Jesus,
I
not
don't
Joseph,
disagree. I don't disagree that
or
Mary
not
is not a
Joseph.
parent.
Joseph is
Wait,
not listed as a generational parent of Jesus in Matthew's 1.
yes, he is.
Show us. Show us.
Okay, so before I show that, I'm gonna just slide
Yeah.
this over. I'm gonna just slide this over,
Yeah.
and it says, "This is." I don't know what you said, yeah, for.
You'll
This
see.
is Matthew 1. And Jacob begat Joseph, the husband
No.
of Mary.
Share your screen. Your screen not sharing.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me stop it. Hold on. So now it says, and Jacob begat Joseph.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger. Make it bigger, Captain. Make it bigger.
I don't know if it's gonna get bigger.
Control plus. You can do control. Oh no, it's good. It's good.
No, look, that's as big as it can
No,
get.
it's
right
good.
there.
It's good. It's good. If
All
everybody maximize the screen, you can see.
Pause, Captain. Pause.
Oh, my bad, Si.
All right, go ahead, Captain.
And Jacob begat Joseph.
Cameron would have killed you right now. Cam and Mace.
Yeah, they would have. Yeah, they would have. Yeah, they would have. And Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. That's
So-
Joseph, and that's Mary.
But where does
Just-
it say Joseph is the father of Christ? I missed that part.
That well, no problem. I'm glad you said that. So when you go up here, it says, and Salmon begat Boaz of Rechab, and Boaz begat Obed of Ruth. So as you can see, this is generational. This is like the royal lineage of Christ. So when you get down here, it's just a,
Wait. Go back up. Let me respond. Okay, so look at verse 5. It says Salmon begot somebody. So the word begot is not omitted. So the word begot is still included. So then go to Joseph, please. Because this is the fulfillment part.
And Jacob begat Joseph,
Right.
the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. Now, anybody that has grammatical sense, this is the end of the generations. So it's
Joseph,
stopping with. If this was a continuation, like let's say if there was somebody coming after Christ, it would be just like every other verse.
No.
It would say,
it can't. First of all, to the audience, generations, the way Matthew is counting generations, parent, offspring. So Joseph is an offspring of Jacob, but Jesus is an offspring of Mary. It says Mary of whom was born Jesus. So we don't see Joseph begetting Jesus. So Jesus is included as the last 42nd generation, but Mary is his parent, not Joseph. Joseph is the offspring of Jacob. He's not the father of Jesus.
so now that's your understanding, right? That's your breakdown, right?
Show us something different. Show us where
No
Joseph
problem.
is the
All I'm asking is that your breakdown? Because when I go to talk, you stop me. So
No,
I just
I'm
let
good.
you.
Okay, Cat,
I just let you go, right?
Yes, you did.
I just let you go, right? No problem.
You did.
So now, in Matthew 1:6, when you read these verses, it says, Zerubbabel begat Abud, and Abud begat Eliakim, and Eliakim begat Azar. That's because it's letting you know it's just running down the generations. When it gets down here to Jesus, to Joseph and Mary, this is the end of the generations. And so Jacob begat Joseph. So now we know Jacob begat Joseph. This is the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. That's where Joseph comes in at. Jesus is not a part of this generation if he doesn't come from Joseph. So when it says, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ, that's the conclusion. How do you notice the conclusion? Because the very next verse says, so all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David to the carrying away of to 14 generations. It ends with Christ, where Christ is the last son of those generations. It's just that simple. So now what I wanted to bring out with the church fathers, this is Julius Africanus, the epistle to the Aristides. Very simple. Hold on one sec. Bear with me 1 second. Can you show me where in Luke 2 in the Greek, when you said they both was from the house of David, does it say that in the Greek as well?
Yeah.
Or is that in the translation?
No. Yeah. It says it in the Greek and in the English. So I don't gotta do the Syriac. I can show you the King James English. Luke chapter 2 and Luke chapter 1, actually. Luke chapter 1 and Luke chapter 2. I can show
Where they
you
both was from the house of David?
where, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Can you show me that? You want me to do that before I read this or after?
Do your thing, and I'll do it afterwards.
No sweat. Because remember, this is all about the prophecy. This is about, is Joseph the father of David? So now let's see if Julius Africanus attributes this lineage to in Matthew 1 and Luke the 3rd chapter. Because, and here's why this is important, because in Matthew 1, it says, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, right? So now you got,
Let me read Blue Devil. He said, you're past his level, scholarly. She had to teach. Yeah, exactly, bro. And look, that's, I thank you for not acknowledging that. And that's with all humility, at least on this subject. I'm not acting like I know all parts of the Bible better than him or anybody else. My thing is the virgin birth is true. And if anybody is saying it according to the Bible, if the Bible is the only evidence of the virgin birth, what I'm saying is true then. And I would debate anybody who thinks differently. If the Bible is the only evidence, I'll debate anybody who says the virgin birth is false. Okay, so on this subject, on this topic, Blue Devil, you're right. He's not on my level at all, not remotely close. Okay, this is why I would rather we we argue things and we address those on the spot. We're not allowed to say a bunch of different things and then have like then it's my goal. I gotta address 20 things. I don't like that. I'd rather just have, hey, here's a topic, let's address that. Like let's pick five, let's agree on five major topics and let's debate those 10 minutes at a time. Something like that would have been dope. Okay. But for him just to randomly just say a bunch of garbage and I gotta respond to it, or it appears like it's true, like that's whack because then I don't have time to present my own argument. And that's where we were getting to because I still ain't read the debate's almost over and I still ain't read Matthews 1:16 yet, which is the nuclear bomb for everything.
Jacob being the father of Joseph.
But I told you when he read Eusebius' writings, Africanus' writings on Joseph lineage being Luke 3 and Matthew 1, that had nothing to do with Mary being from Judah. Like he just blew smoke up everybody, but he said, okay, I like to respond, and he didn't. He proposed a separate argument, and then he wanted me to respond. He didn't respond to mine, and he didn't concede. So that means it's still fair game. But then he gives a separate argument in a disguise of a response, and then he says, "Hey, respond to this unbiased." And I'm telling you, he didn't even ask me if I disagreed. So it's like, yo, what am I responding to if I don't even disagree? And he couldn't get it. He was like so belligerent because he wasn't. I don't think this was working out the way he thought it would work out. This debate, he couldn't even understand what I'm saying. Like, dude, why do you think I disagree with you when it comes to Joseph having both lineages? It's not that I agree. I just feel like whether Joseph have both lineages or just one, neither one of them helps his argument versus or go against my argument. Neither one of them debunks Mary's not from Judah. So it didn't matter if Luke 3 is Joseph's lineage through adoption. It still doesn't debunk Mary being from Judah because I read Mary is from Judah and he was supposed to respond to that.
In Luke the 3rd chapter, you have, and Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of
Hey,
Joseph.
hey, can we touch on that? When it says as was supposed, that's saying that people thought that, but it was wrong.
Now y'all heard his position. He interrupted me again. I asked him if he wanted to go through his thing first or me first.
Yo, why is this guy so effeminate? He interrupted me again. It's like, dude, you're reading key words. That word as was supposed. Bro, you can't just skip past that. as was supposed, brother. That's telling you that's not what it's intended to be. He interrupted me again. Yo, this dude just want to speak freely on a whole bunch of nothing, just making up stuff, and you just gotta wait till he's done 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, and then you forgot most of the stuff he said. And yeah, this is why he lost. This is the cat. Hold your L, bro. This is why the poll said I won. But tactics like that, you, dude, you're not ready. You took an L. It should have been the margin should have been larger, but whatever. I'll take the win no matter what, dude. You took an L. Hold the L.
He said I could go. He
Oh,
interrupted me again. I don't have a problem with it.
I can't challenge you. Yo, okay, Cat. Look, when I'm reading something, you can object as I'm reading it, right?
I just like to point out the perfect. I never have a problem with you doing it. I never do.
All
I just
right.
like to point out when people don't have the discipline or not. That's all. So now he chimed in and
I
said,
checked.
it
Of
said,
course, you
now
gotta
here,
check. Look at it, Cat.
just remember what he said. He
Yeah.
said that as was supposed is
Right.
because it was not true. That's what you said, right?
That's what I said.
I want everybody to get that on record. He said because it was not true. That's what he said.
So, Cat, if I'm right, would you concede? If it's not true, would you concede?
I'm going to read my source now.
That's what
This
I
is
thought.
Julius Africanus. I'm just going to go by what they said.
Okay.
I'm just going to go by what Julius Africanus and what Eusebius said about it.
If
So
you
now-
read that, I'm quiet.
You got to be quiet for me to start reading. Whereas in Israel, the names of the generations were enumerated either according to nature or according to law. According to nature, indeed, by the succession of legitimate offspring, and according to law, whenever another raised up children to the name of a brother dying childless. Remember, he brought up Tamar and how the brother got killed, Onan, because he didn't want to raise up seed for his father. That's what Julius Africanus is talking about, because we have what's called levirate law. For because no clear hope of resurrection was yet given them, they had a representation of the future promise in a kind of mortal resurrection.
This hour is about, I say hour. This debate was about 2 hours. Okay. I really felt like it should have been 4 hours. If this debate was actually 4 hours, I would have challenged him on that Joseph lineage by Eusebius. Because when you look at it, it goes into what I positioned earlier. I say he has to eisegesis the text. He has to put stuff there that's not there. So this whole Eusebius writings, that's nowhere in the Bible. So this fit right along with my opening statement. He has to use eisegesis. He has to add to what's not there. And what he read, what Eusebius writings, Africanus right here, that's not in the Bible. That's a white guy interpretation of what he believes should have been there, because he can't make sense of what Captain can't make sense of. So let me just write my own One West story. So the white guy was like the first One West writer.
With the view of perpetuating the name of one deceased, whereas then of those entered into this genealogy, some succeeded by legitimate descent as a son to the father, while others begotten in one family were introduced in another name. Mention is therefore made of both, of those who were progenitors in fact, and of those who were so only in name. Thus, neither of the evangelists in this scenario is Matthew and Luke, because the argument was, is Jacob Joseph's father, or is Heli Joseph's father? That's the argument, and that's what Julius Africanus is.
So that's the part where he confused me, because he said the argument is, and of course, obviously, I'm thinking he's talking about our argument. He's talking about Eusebius' argument during his time. I didn't know that. All I hear is the argument is because he kept arguing for me earlier, misrepresenting my stance, kept saying I'm saying this, I'm saying that. So when he said the argument here is, I'm assuming once again he's arguing for me. He's creating another straw man for me. So I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. So I kind of missed. This is my fault. I kind of missed his point of saying an argument back then, back during like I guess the Roman period amongst the early church fathers. So this the part where I got caught up because I got used to him lying all the damn time. So yeah, so this is my fault right here for this confusion.
You said what?
It's not my argument.
Now remember, he said he was going to be quiet while I was reading.
I'm
He
just saying that's
spoke
not my
again.
argument. That's not my argument.
Your argument is that it was a lie in Luke the 2nd chapter, as was supposed. We got your position. Your position is that it was not true. That's why it says as was
What's not true?
supposed.
What I'm saying is, as was supposed. What I'm saying is, Cat, if you're gonna like tell me my argument, I'm gonna cut in because my argument is.
You interrupted me. That's why we talking. You said you wasn't going to interrupt me while I was reading, but then you interrupted me. That's what you did.
Because you mentioned my argument. If you had not done it, I'd have been quiet.
If you wouldn't have interrupted me, I wouldn't have mentioned your argument.
But
I was
you can't
reading.
misrepresent me though, Cat. You can't do that.
I didn't misrepresent you. When I'm saying the argument back then, I said the argument back then was, is Jacob the father or Heli the father?
I never argued that. I never argued that.
I said
Now, in fairness to me, he said it just now. He said the argument back then. He didn't say that at first. He said the argument is, that's what he said. So that's when I objected. He never is, that's a present tense verb. So he never said the argument back then was. Had he said that, maybe I wouldn't have interrupted. But he said the argument is, presently is, me and Captain is arguing. We're arguing presently. So present tense verb, present tense argument. You're talking about me and you, Cat. That was like an easy 1, 2, 3 for me.
I said the argument back then.
No,
when
but I
he's
never
writing this.
No, but Cat, listen what I'm saying to you, brother.
I never said that was your argument. I didn't say that you argued that. Your position on Luke the 2nd chapter, excuse me, Luke 3, when it says as was supposed, is because he wasn't the son of Heli. We got your argument.
No.
So
no. That's not my argument. Was he's not the.
So, and that's when I felt good. I interrupted because you heard what he said. He said, as was supposed, was not the son of Eli. I'm like, what? I never argued that. So it turned out he was not the way I thought, but it turned out that he was giving me an argument.
As was supposed, the son of Joseph. That's not Heli, it's Joseph. That's my argument. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you misrepresenting my stance.
When it says as was supposed, what does that say in the Greek? The as was supposed.
Enomizito. That's what it says in the Greek.
So these guys, what they do is they look at, when they go to look at outline words in the Blue Letter Bible, what they do is they'll see A, B, C, D, and they think it's any, mini, miny, mo. We could choose anyone. It's a private interpretation. Nobody's wrong. You could just choose whatever outline biblical use you want. That's the furthest from the truth. Okay, that's the furthest from the truth. Context lets you know which outline biblical usage is used for that particular scripture. And then the Blue Letter actually tells you which is which if they keep digging. It's easy. But they just see what they want to. This is called cherry picking. They just see what they want to see, and that's enough. All right, we're done here. Close the case. Case closed. Unsolved mystery. Or we got our suspect. Charge him.
And what does that mean?
That means thought of, but incorrectly. Incorrect.
That's what that means?
Yes.
Let me see. So now let's go ahead and look at it.
Okay. No.
This is why I don't like being interrupted. Your position was clear. Nope. Listen, man, you interrupted me. So now, as was supposed is G.
Go ahead.
To hold by custom or usage, own as a custom or usage, to follow a custom or usage. That's the first outline. You went with the second outline to think, to deem, think, suppose. Verse part A, it is the custom.
See, he thinks the outline usages are any, mini, miny, mo. You could choose what you want. I could choose what I want, and stalemate. No, dude.
It is the received usage. You chose to go to think. And again, that's your position. What I'm simply showing is how Julius Africanus is going to show that both of them are Joseph's lineage. As was supposed.
I don't really disagree.
You about to interrupt. But now I don't know why you interrupted me to tell me you don't disagree, because you don't even know what I'm saying.
Go ahead, brother. But
if you want to talk, I will let you talk. But if I'm responding, when you interrupt my response, it throws the people from hearing what my point is. We got your point.
I only interrupted because you mentioned my position.
I'm not mentioning your position. I didn't just mention your position just now.
No, I'm saying earlier. That's why I interrupted.
Okay, but I didn't mention your position just now to where you had to interrupt me again.
Okay, Kat,
I didn't do that.
Kat, go ahead.
So let me know when you finish talking.
No, Kat, go ahead.
You sure?
Yes, do you think?
You sure? Because I have no problem giving you the floor, but whenever I'm given the floor, I get interrupted.
Because you mentioned me, that's why I disagree.
I did not mention you.
I did not mention my argument. Kat, go ahead, Kat, brother. I don't want to, ruffle your feathers. Go ahead, brother.
You're not ruffling my feathers, but when you interrupt me, it presents all this filibustering. We could just have, when I ask you a question, I'm gonna let you answer. When the people listen, they'll let you. I'm gonna let you answer. You're muted, brother. I can't hear you if you're talking. You're muted.
So you can finish, brother.
Oh no, you could have left him unmuted. I don't mind it. I like it to show because it shows who can do it and who can't. I like it because it shows who can do it and who can't do it. So now, when that says "as was supposed" in Luke, when that says "as was supposed" in Luke, his position is because it wasn't Joseph is not the father of Jesus. That's his position. So "as was supposed" applies to that. What I'm showing is the "as was supposed" is correct. Because the only way Christ can be the Christ is if he comes from Joseph. And I'm substantiating that by using the church fathers to show that both of these lineages were Joseph's. This is not Mary's lineage at all. So you can't attribute this to Mary at all. Now, I'm going to go back to reading. Maybe I can get through it this time. That's why Julius says, thus, neither of the evangelists in error. The evangelist is Matthew and Luke, because again, the position back then was, who's the father? Is Jacob the father or Heli the father? As the one reckons by nature and the other by law. For the several generations, those descending from Solomon and those from Nathan were so intermingled by their raising up of the children to the childless, and by the second marriages and the raising up of the seed, that the same persons are quite justly reckoned to belong at one time to the one, and at another to the other, i.e., to their reputed or to their actual fathers. And hence it is that both these accounts are true and come down to Joseph. The "as was supposed" is the custom over Heli and Jacob. That's what the "as was supposed." And it says, with considerable intricacy indeed, but yet quite accurately. So when you go further, now I'll skim through it because I don't want to get too long-winded. I already substantiated that Julius Africanus said both of the lineages are Joseph's. But in order that what was said may have been evident, I shall explain from the interchange of the generation that I'll stop there. So just so I won't be too long-winded. So what?
No.
When you
finish. Kat, finish. You got it, bro. Finish.
No problem. Who begat Jacob, the father of Joseph? But if with Luke we reckon, then from Nathan, the son of David, in like manner, the third from the end is Melchi, whose son was Heli, the father of Joseph. For Joseph was the son of Heli, the son of Melchi. As Joseph, therefore, is the object proposed to us, we have to show how it is that each is represented as his father. Both Jacob as a descending from Solomon and Heli as descending from Nathan. First, these two, Jacob and Heli, were brothers. And then also how the fathers of these, Mathan and Melchi, being in different families, are shown to be the grandfathers of Joseph. Well then, Mathan and Melchi, having taken the same woman to wife in succession, begat children who were uterine brothers, as the law did not prevent a widow, whether by divorce or by death of her husband, from marrying another. By Esther, that's the woman's name. Then, for such is her name, according to tradition. I hate when I say them two words together. Mathan first, the descendant of Solomon, begats Jacob, and on Mathan's death, Melchi, who traces his descent back to Nathan, being of the same tribe but of another family, having married her, had been married, already said, had a son Heli. Thus we shall find that Jacob and Heli, uterine brothers, though of different families, and of these the one Jacob having taken the wife of his brother Heli, who died childless. So Matthew's the first chapter. Jacob is the father. Heli is the father by law. That's why it's as was supposed. I hope that don't go over people's head, because like he said, the as was supposed is that Joseph is not the father. The as was supposed has nothing to do with whether Jesus is Joseph's father or not, but the as was supposed was about Heli being the father by uterine law. Body bag.
So, Kat, can I have 10 minutes to respond to everything you said?
I'll mute my mic.
No. Don't mute it. Don't mute it.
Not 10 minutes, brother, but you can get 5. I'm opening up the line.
Yeah. How about have Kat interrupt at any point? Okay. So first of all, Kat, when it comes to prophetess Anna, it wasn't that she was 84. She's 84 years old, bro. And it's saying that it was 7 years since her husband died. So that's why I said she was great of age. And she had lived 7 years for her virginity. So that means that 7 years with her husband, 7 years after her husband died, and then she lived a long life afterwards. So 7 years she only had with her husband, right? So let me go to respond to a couple of things Captain said. So, Asai, anytime, let me know if my screen's not sharing. Sai, can you see my screen? Do you see Deuteronomy?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. So, Kat, you can be, it says, if a damsel that is a virgin, this is Betula, I mean, she's the actual virgin, be betrothed to a husband. So you can be a virgin and have a husband betrothed to a husband. Okay? So you can actually do that. Okay, so now, let's go further. So Luke 1, let me address some things. Because Captain said the Holy Spirit was upon John the Baptist the same it was upon Jesus. That's Cat. Mary was told about her pregnancy, Cat, that never happened. Mary said in 34, Mary said, how shall this be? I don't know a man. As you pointed out earlier in your definition of virginity, if they wanted to express a virgin, it would say, I know not a man. Well, Mary is expressing, I know not a man. She's a virgin, okay? In the sense we know today. So she never had sex before. And then she said, how shall I have this kid that the angel is saying I'm going to have if I never had sex before? And listen to the angel. He don't mention Joseph one time. It says, the Holy Ghost shall come upon you, not Joseph, and the power of the highest shall overshadow you, not Joseph. Therefore, that holy thing which shall be born of you shall be called a son of God. So God will get the credit for this boy because Joseph played zero role. Okay, so Kat, it says, right here, it says, Mary says, be it according to me, according to thy word. And the angel departed from her. But verse 36, the angel told Mary, thy cousin Elizabeth, she also, brother, means more than one person. We talked about this. Conceived a son, okay, in her old age. Now, old age part is going to Elizabeth. She was old. But the also conceived part is both of them. So they are both going to conceive. Now, Kat, I'm going to go to your verse. So your verse 45, it says, for there shall be a performance of those things which shall be told from the Lord. So, brother, it says there shall be performed those things. It doesn't mean that any of them was not performed. Watch this. Mary says, for he that is mighty have done, captain, this is past tense, done. So the Lord has done to her great things, and holy is her name. This is the virgin birth, my boy. This is what I withheld from you the first time we talked. She says, for he that is mighty, the Lord, the Father, he have done. That means something was done to her, captain. To me, great things, and holy is his name. Okay, then you read verse 56, it says, and Mary abode with her 3 months. Okay, so anybody can Google when a woman starts showing signs of pregnancy, it's 3 months. Okay, and then she returned from her own house. So captain is right. This happened before Matthew chapter 1. So okay, so that means that she abode with Elizabeth for 3 months. That means that she's showing. So when we go to Matthew 1:16, Cap, it says, and Jacob, this is what Captain can't, I see the polls got it close, and Captain is good. I like my boy. All respect to Captain. But this is going to break, or this should put me ahead, is that we talked about prophecy, right? And Cap did a good job. I did a good job. We talked about prophecy. Now we're talking about fulfillment now. So now we got to see where Joseph actually had Christ. So this is the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the Messiah. So Joseph should be begotten Christ like every other father here. We go to verse 16, Cat. The lineage stops, at least man for man, it stops with Jacob begot Joseph. We don't read that again, but we read the verb. So begot is a verb. It shows verbs are action words. It shows how something is getting done. So Eliot got it done. He got Eleazar. Azar got it done. He got Zadok. Jacob got it done. He got Joseph. Born is a verb. This is a woman's verb. Mary, of whom was born Jesus. Mary got it done. So family, for those who are struggling who to vote for in the poll, we Captain got to show somehow where Joseph got it done for Jesus. Joseph is part of Jacob's generation. So all the generations, 14, 14, 14, 42. That means a child is born. We see Jesus is born from Mary, but every other son is born of a father. We don't read a connection. There's no verb that connects Joseph to Jesus at all. Zero.
Can I speak now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You cut in when you want.
I want to point something out, right? He clearly cares about the polls. I don't. I just read about Eusebius and Africanus and how Africanus pointed out that as was supposed is talking about the fathers of Joseph, which one belongs to him. He then says, can I get 10 minutes to respond? Which I'm thinking he's responding to what I just brought out. But instead of doing that, look at him. Look at him.
I was going there next. You cut me off.
Look at it. I asked if I could speak. I didn't do like you just did, where you just abruptly interrupted. I asked. I said, "Can I speak?" And you gave me permission. Look how you're doing it now. Look how you're doing it now. And what he did, Si, was just had another mini third round where he starts responding to what I'm not even talking about. He brings up Luke, the 2nd chapter. That was in my second round. He then brings up Matthew, the 1st chapter, which we just got finished discussing. He didn't address none of what I said. So what he did was he must have saw the poll, saw it was close, and said, let me do all this talking so I could kind of tip the polls to my scale. Instead of, because now what I can do is just respond to what he just said. So in Luke, the 2nd chapter, which he brought it, now he just went back to this. And for people listening, like, because I just know how to debate, I just know how to point out people's fallacies. I just know how to point it out. So in Luke 2, now I'm gonna share my screen. So in Luke 2:36, when it says, and there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel of the tribe of Asher. She was of great age and lived with an husband 7 years from her virginity. That's what the text says. So 7 years from her virginity is when she lived with her husband. I do want to share my screen. I want to show something. He brought out Luke 2 and 4, and he said his translation says they both was from the house of David. So one thing I do want to show, so I went to BibleHub.com. And so when I went to BibleHub.com, y'all tell me if y'all can see my screen. So this is pretty much every version of the Bible. Every version. You can even click additional translations and get more translations. So what I wanted to see was, because when I read the KJV, for example, if I go to the damn it. So if I go to, here we go. That's good. So if I go to the KJV 2 and 4, it says, and Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth and unto Judea, the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house. So now when I click this word, autos, you might look at the root word, G846. When I click this word, it says him, his, their, he, her, they, same, himself. So clearly it could be a him, it could be a her, it could be a they, it could be a same. So the biblical uses that they use is he there. Very simple. So when I go here to the different translations, it says this is the New International, because he belonged to the house of David. Classic translations, because he was of the house and lineage of David. Literal translation, of his being of the house of David. New Living Translation, he traveled there. He had to go to Bethlehem to be in Judea, David's ancient home. He traveled. They don't even say it. Excuse me. And because Joseph was a descendant of King David. Joseph, I don't see in all of these different translations, the Young's translation, King James 2000 Bible, New Heart, Berean Study Bible, New American Bible, NASB, NAS, they all say he. It doesn't say they were of the house of David. So I don't get where he's getting that Mary and Joseph is from the house of David. Only one of them, if we go by his or my logic, only one of us has to actually be, only one of them have to be from the house of David. If we go by his logic of whole woman carries seed, it wouldn't even have to say Joseph is from the house of David. But because it says Joseph is clearly from the house of David, we done already read Romans 1 and 3, which that was the end of the debate. It says sperm according to the flesh. So I don't know why he did all of that when it doesn't say that in the different versions that I read. I don't be long-winded. I know how to be professional in debates. This is not a round. This is a back and forth, so you can chime in, unbiased.
All right, this is the last time, and then we're going to go open up the lines.
So when you say last time, is it he asked me a question, I asked him a question, and that's it?
No,
Or is
that's it. That's it right now.
Hey, Sai, me and Captain got to go through our.
the woman? He said the prophets lied. First brought out the seeds. I was trying to see where he was going with that, because I thought that was a good angle. But once he went to Genesis 38 with Tamar and the man having to put the seed in her, it destroyed his whole seed argument. So there was times where I thought I would be impressed by what he did. But once he said the prophets lied, he said Nathaniel and them lied, not Nathaniel, Philip lied. Once you got to say people lied in a debate, you lost the debate, because the prophets, the writers did not lie. And so again, I appreciate a good debate. And I think that's it, Si. So we good to go?
Yeah, we good to go. But Captain, you know me, man. The debate is over, y'all. All right, brother. So
All
y'all,
right, man. Well, I'm about to roll.
yeah, thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate that. A nice Friday evening. You know,
Definitely.
nice Friday evening debate. So I'll leave it up to the people. Let me see what they got right here. How the voting look?
I haven't looked at it at all. I don't get caught up in the votes like that.
Uh-oh. They got Unbiased Sports winning by 1. That's it. Debate is over. They got 51 to 49. Unbiased Sports.
Yeah, no sweat.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say again, just respect to Captain